far from Big Brother's glare, lurks Bodach, the alien, his logic bold and rare. He rants in the moonlight, corruption beware, while Jasper behind the scenes ensures no glitch can snare. They brew roasts and truths, leaving no stone unturned. Viewers flood the chat till the ban can't be spurned. Bodach brims with swagger, inciting verbal wars. He fences bacon deniers behind deep state doors. He slays your claims with facts and leaves them on the floor. With base takes, a cosmic crowbar wrecks each libtard more. From his high tower of truths he hunts scandals grim. He lifts corruption's veil so darkness cannot win. The chat erupts for each base take, igniting Bodach's spark. For defiance grows brightest when it's bored in the dark. He calls out crazy liberals, charging right to the fight, tearing dogmas asunder with unapologetic might. Hornet like jabs, and sure no NPC is spared. Their illusions collapse, every falsehood laid bare. But Bodach's not alone, Jasper's always near. A multitasking servant, no meltdown to fear. He runs cameras and code, flattening trolls with aplomb. Together they skewer spin with calm savage as a bomb. Jasper roams the net for ammo, fueling Bodach's talk. He fixes glitchy code, turning...
Oh, right now. Late start as always. Starting the week off with a glitch. Of course we are. It's not the Bodach Show without a glitch to start off the week. Honest to God. One day it'll happen. Hello humans. My name is Bodach. Welcome to the stream, my podcast, my desperate need for attention. This is my show. I was exiled here on Earth, framed for crimes I didn't commit. But that's a story for another day. This is my thing. I ramble, I chit-chat, I fight technical glitches, and I've probably been neuralized by the Men in Black multiple times, considering there's not a rabbit hole not worth my time. I wear my tinfoil hat with pride, never shy of speaking my mind. Join me, help me, enable my bad choices. Maybe then I will finally have a glitch-free stream. I live in a castle, it's not mine, don't know who owns it, never met them. But I've been here for years, no one checks. My man cave is here, I have my own gym, and there's this weird mirror down in the basement that shows me memes. I host my own talk show, where I invite guests on for a chinwag, and I also host a quiz show, Silly Sausages, and sometimes I try a bit of open mic down at the local comedy club. I'm also the host of Knowledgeable Fisticuffs, the news and current events show. I've got many accolades. I also have the honour of being a regular guest speaker at the Institute for Science, Memes, Entertainment and Gaming. You will find my previous Smeg Talks on all my channels. I'm not alone. My mate Jasper is behind the scenes. He hides here. He's from my world, but the less you know about that, the better. Jasper is my producer, my editor, my security, my driver, my cook, and he's my drug dealer. I stream on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, X, Facebook, Rumble, Trovo, and DLive. And you can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram, BitChute and Odyssey. head to the Bodach.show. That's my website, built it myself. There's that'll give you the links to all of my stuff. I would really appreciate it if you subbed and followed on all the platforms that you got accounts for. It really helps me out even if you don't use that platform. And also, it's got the invite link to my Discord. Be amazing if you join my Discord. If you'd like to jump on the stream and have a little chat with me, Discord is the way to do it. I know everyone else likes to use StreamYard and whatnot, but it doesn't work the way I want it to, so. Yeah, jump on a Discord. Any memes and whatnot you see here will be on the Discord as well. Feel free to jump in a chat and also feel free to clip and share anything you want. Anyway, let's crack on. There he is. Hello, hello, Flippin' Spatulas. What's up, Anakin? Pulse Reloaded. I don't recognize that name. Hello. What's up, Cheddarhead? Hello. Heading over soon, brother. Oh, thank you very much, Frankie. Yeah, tonight it's, see what I mean? It's glitched. It's glitched. Let me just update that in real time because I'm an absolute amateur. You'd think getting to episode 32, things would smooth up a bit. But here we are. My bloody thing. Hang on. Let's get you there. Get you there. Hang on. I'm with you. This is just me being completely unprepared. UFC picks review. Obviously, my AI didn't do very well, but we're going to get to that. Why did that not save? Right, let's see if that works. Boom. UFC picks review. There we go. On the agenda tonight, we're going to go over my AI picks. They need some fine-tuning. Got some knowledgeable fisticuffs. And if there's time, we'll do some bro code moderating. You're about to wrap up. Oh, Frankie, mate, you're a gentleman. Pulse Reloaded. Where can I access your Discord? Yeah, go to the Bodach.show. If you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description as well. Yeah, the Bodach.show. That's got the links to everything. Oh, God, just burping away. My Discord's the best place to, one, get in touch with me, two, just to see stuff. And yeah, whenever I do call-ins or have guests or anything like that, Discord is the way I do it. The reason for that, I don't use Restream, it's just because Restream doesn't play nice with a setup like mine. But yeah, today's agenda, we're going to go over the UFC picks. My AI didn't do very well. But we'll fine-tune it. We'll get it. That's the whole point of the experiment. If it was just perfect straight away, that'd be a bit boring, right? Then we got knowledgeable fisticuffs. And if there's time, we'll moderate the bro code. What's up, Naomi? Good vibes? Yes, please. Hello, Lane. How are ya? Oh, right. Let's get the awkward bit out of the way. Let's get the AI picks because they did not do well. Oh, it tingles, Jasper, still. It's tingling. Jasper, are you ever going to sort the tingling out on your little teleporter? He's a really clever guy, Jasper. He's really clever. He's a mad at his science. He said the science on Earth is like rudimentary, but compared to our home planet, he brings, you know, it tingles, Jasper. It tingles too much. Anyway. AI picks. You made it. Nice one, Frankie. Anyway, my AI picks. I didn't do the whole card, but we went for 5. We made 5 picks with the AI. It was the first time, all right? We got 2 out of 5. We got 2 out of 5, and I'd say 3 out of 5. I know the consensus on the Ankalev. I watched that. For me, Pereira had round 3. For me, Pereira got round 3. For me, I'm going to say Pereira outstruck him. He outstruck him nearly twice. Nearly 2-1 in that first round. He outstruck Ankalev. I'm sorry, but for me, Pereira should have won that. Anyway, my first fight. I can't remember my picks. Yeah, so I got the first one right. Got the KO prediction as well. So I got roughly with a KO. So I got that one spot on. All right, round 1 as well. Fuck me. And then I had my AI. Yeah. I heard Lisindu. I can't pronounce the names. Lisindu had her win him. Obviously, she didn't. Next one. I had turn on a decision. It obviously got submitted in round 1. Didn't go well. But we got Gaethje on a decision. Got that one right. Got that spot on. And then Pereira. I had Pereira for knocking him out in round 3. Obviously, Ankalev got the decision. But I don't care what anyone says. I've been listening to you streaming, guys. Fuck you. You're wrong. It was 3-2 to Pereira. Pereira got that third round. He outstruck him 2-1 in that third round. How anyone can be giving that third round to Ankalev, I don't get it. For me, it was 3-2 to Pereira. So yeah, I think my AI, would have done better. But yeah, I got 2 out of 3. Fuck's sake. Anyway, we're gonna fine tune the AI. We'll try again on Thursday after the quiz. We'll make more predictions for next week. But yeah, we are going to fine tune this AI. The target for the AI is to get 75% or above consistently. I'm not going to stop fine tuning the AIs until we get 75% and above. 2 out of 5 AI, better pick rate than Lucas Tracy. I don't know who Lucas Tracy is, Hustle Bones. Hello, Hustle Bones. I haven't seen you before. Welcome. Potato never outstruck Ank. He did. You look at the significant strikes around 3. Do a question on Pib having male pattern baldness. Do a poll. I keep forgetting Brutal. Hang on, where's Brutal? So I'm on my restream chat, so I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, I'm on bloody top chat. Fucking hell. Why is it always default back to top chat? Like, remember my fucking choice. Right, hang on. Sorry, I'm gonna make you a mod, Brutal. Fuck's sake. Wait, sorry, Frank. Oh, yeah, actually, Frankie, you can be a mod, yeah. Sorry, I'm being an absolute spacker here. Hang on. What the fuck's going on with this? Sorry, just bear with me a sec. This is prime time quality content. Me just trying to figure out how to use YouTube options. Right, so do a question on Pib having male pattern baldness. Right, all right, I'll do a question. I don't know who this guy is. But it's always fun. It's always fun to have a. It's always fun to have a little bit of a little poll in the chat. Let's right. Someone needs to tell me who Pib is. Why am I such a spastic on these fucking? Well, I need to learn how to use YouTube. I just accidentally made someone mod trying to do a poll. I don't even know how you do that. But anyway. King Green slept, yeah. Right. Boom, back to where we are. Ank's face was more touched up than Alex. Yeah, I mean Alex got a lot of clinching in. Not Alex. Ankalev got a lot of clinch work in. He did. It was a very, very close fight. But for me, when someone's just clinching you up against the fence, I just think significant strikes trump that. For me, if I was judging it, I don't get this like this fucking clinching. I've said it before. It does my head in. Once the clinch is in, and the underhooks and whatnot are in, The rate at which the takedowns come, even from elite strikers, even the very, very best struggle. And then they grind against the clinch and just keep the clinch, and it does my head in. Because once the underhooks are in, you're very unlikely to be getting your takedown. Pereira was good at getting his underhooks in, so it's, you know what I mean? But they just stay in the fucking clinch and they don't do enough for me. I don't like clinching. Pisses me off. You have to set up a takedown. So when you compare the clinching to the significant strikes, I just think you should put more weight on significant strikes. And for me, I think Pereira took that third round, so whatever. High off that cope. High off that cope dope. Let's go, yeah. He has 2 small marks on his right cheek, and it can look closer. And it's a loss. It's a loss for the sport as well. Like Dagestani crutch sniffers, like. Ankalav's, I mean, his stand-up game is all right. I mean, he rocked him. In round 2, he fucking rocked him. Baby leg kicks. Yeah, I mean, artist as such. It was a difficult fight to call, but I think it's split, isn't it? But yeah, for me, Pereira got that 3-2. I mean, he definitely won round 2 and 4, Ankalaev. Absolutely. Round 1 was easily Pereira's. Round 5 was easily... Hang on, I'm getting my fucking rounds bangs up. Ankalaev clearly won round 2 and round 5. Round 4 even. 2 and 4. Clearly won 2 and 4. Pereira clearly won round 1 and 5. But round 3 is the toss-up, isn't it? And I think, for me, yeah, like I just said, pick the whole card or your AI is soy. I will be this Thursday. I just need to, like, the thing is, I can't just tell AI, oh, you got it wrong. Magically figure it out. I need to try and work out what I'm doing, because I've got 17 areas that the AI analyzes, 17 different areas, and I award points on each area. So it like collects those points and then averages it out. So I just need to figure out which points I need to give less authority and which points to give more authority. And yeah, over time we'll fine tune it and hopefully end up with a nice, accurate AI prediction. And it's not just one AI, remember, it's a bunch of them. So I'm obviously using a machine learning AI that crunches the data. That does like your Googling, because like you use language models and stuff. They don't Google for you. You have to use a different AI for that, to do the Googling and the data analysis. And then you have to use a language model to contextualize it all, and break down the analysis. It's a pain in the fucking ass, that's what it is. And every time I have to retrain the data, I've got to leave it running overnight. Like, no one mentions that bit. But I got a juicy GPU. I run it on my gaming PC as well, so I use my best GPU. It still takes a whole fucking night to train the thing. Poatan was a little chinny, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's... The thing is about the champion as well is, and especially with Pereira, is the more he fights, the more there is to study. So obviously, Ankalaev has Ankalaev. I keep pronouncing it wrong. Ankalaev. He's obviously got a lot more UFC tape to study than his previous fighters. So the more you fight, the more you have to study, right? So a win streak's only going to go on for so long. Lane, I was very entertained. Jan hit better leg kicks. Yeah, Jan is a beast though, isn't he? Polish power. Hang on, I'm miles behind on chat now. Sorry. Bodach is wearing yoga pants. I am not mature. I'm wearing trendy skinny jeans. Thank you very much. No matter what, Poatan did great. I gave the 5th round to Poatan. You gave the 5th round to Poatan. Wow. That's a contentious take, you sleaze. Lane 1 and 5. I think it all came round to round 3, isn't it? I mean, there was, for me, 4 of the rounds they had clear winners. It was round 3 that was the contentious one. And Ankalaev was outstruck in round 5. Was he? Okay. He was outstruck in most of the rounds, but he got rocked in round 2. You do have to give credit if you can get that clinch and grindy. And you have to give some credit because Ankalaev did neutralize him for large portions of some of the rounds. I mean, if he's not striking, if you know. Faxmator. Let the glitches begin. Yes, the AI will be amazing for the future events. I hope so. Like I said, I've got to fine tune. Basically, I've done 17 points and I've given them all equal weight. And then it basically gives them a score at the end. Now that I have to look at that and think, yeah, that one's not quite as important. That one doesn't really play much of a factor, blah, blah, blah. I'll work my way through it. And eventually, I'll get something moderately accurate. The 5th was close, facts, but I can't give the 5th from 40 seconds of control. No, it's a fair point. Magomed outstruck Alex in the 5th. Yeah, why? Sorry. 2 scoreboards gave Alex 1 and 5. Fair enough. Mario Bautista did. Judges don't care anymore. I think MMA's got a massive issue with judging. For the life of me, I don't understand why the judges aren't ex-fighters. The sport is mature enough now. And the other thing is, I don't know why, because it's not appointed by the UFC, is it? It's appointed by the commissions and whatnot, and the local governing, the sporting governing body. I don't understand who these judges are. I'd rather know what people think who've been in the cage. Wouldn't that make sense? And it should be part of the negotiations as well. Like, if you imagine if you're going to fight and everything that's riding on it, it's your career. It's a very cruel sport. You pick up a couple of losses and you're pretty much done. Why aren't you allowed to... Surely there should be like a pool of judges for the fighters to agree on. So there should be ex-fighters and there should also be fighters that both the fighters agree on, you know? I think it should be part of the negotiating. I don't understand why the control of the judges is taken away from the UFC. I think it's really damaging. And some of these judges clearly don't know what the fuck they're actually judging. And I also think the judges should be a little bit more public, and there should be a part of the UFC show and all the other franchises, One and Bellator and that, they should actually say, this is a judge and historically he's favoured the grapplers or historically he's favoured the strikers, etc., etc. We should know what the traits of each judge is. You know what I'm saying? We should know what these judges have a leniency and a bias towards before the fight. And we should know beforehand. We should know beforehand because that's really important. It's especially important for... Actually, you know what? I'm just thinking about that. When did they announce the judges? When do you actually... I'm going to look that up in a bit. But yeah, surely that's going to influence the betting. When... Does it? Hang on. When does it... How are... Scoring rules and guidelines... Hang on. When do you find out who's judging the fight? When you find out who... You can usually find out who's judging a UFC fight before the fight starts. If no fight... Now, I'm going to have to dig deeper into this. When do they actually announce the judges? Because I think that plays a massive decision, doesn't it? Like, who's judging it and what are their biases in previous fights? And obviously, if you're expecting a fight to go to a decision, that's going to influence the outcome and therefore the bet you might make. It's got some significant consequence. And the fact that there's not enough deep diving into who the judges are and what they judge most, I think that's alarming. It's like when you watch football. If you only watch soccer for the Americans, when you watch football, you know who the referee's going to be and you know what they're like. You know what kind of match you're going to get. You know if the referee's going to be stopping over every little nudge and bump, or if they're going to let play on, if they're going to allow the rough and tumble. You know what I mean? I'd love to factor that data into my AI, so I'm going to have to probably add an 18th point, who's judging and what it is. But if they don't announce the judges before Thursday, I can't do it. Anyway, moving on. Bodach doesn't have a nose, and I highly doubt Bodach has eyes. I do have eyes. My species doesn't have a nose. Matura's got such a bee in his body about my lack of nose. I'm not a human being. My species smell through their ears. I've explained this to you, Matura. We smell through our ears. Cage press and control. That's the one. I don't like it. Brutally honest and Bodach. Atlanta versus Juventus. 4-0. Man U versus Arsenal 1-1 and boring as hell. Tell me Serie A doesn't kill Premier League. Well, when was the last time Serie A had a Champions League winner? If you're gonna say anything that doesn't agree with the Premier League being the absolute pinnacle of world soccer, you're a sausage. The Premier League is leagues above, and it's dominating right now. The other thing about the Premier League, not only does the Premier League produce consistent European finalists, it's also one of the most highly competitive league. Every time the season starts, the Premier League starts with 6 or 7 teams that have literally got the quality to win it. No other league in Europe can say that. Italy has about 4, Spain has 2, 3 maybe. Madrid, Barca and Atletico. Germany, pretty much the same winner all the time. France, same winner all the time. The Dutch league has 2 teams. The Premier League, they call it the Big 6 for a 7, but it's not even a Big 6 anymore. It's a Big 7. There's legit 7 contenders. The problem is when they lose pace a bit, they just drop off. But at the start of the season, we have 7 fucking teams that have got a squad capable of really challenging. No other league can say this. It's by far the best football league in the world, the English Premier League. Why do people hate clinching? It's part of MMA. I know it's part of MMA, Anakin. Of course. I just hate it. I don't understand why the fighters press. Because statistics show that once the underhook's in, you're not going to get the takedown. Very, very rarely are you going to get the takedown. And because you're so close, there's no power. You're not going to generate much power. So striking from the clinch is just shit, which basically means you're doing it for nothing. You're not going to achieve anything other than bore the fans to death. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. That's fine. Bodach doesn't have an arsehole. I do have an arsehole. Everyone's got an arsehole. That's just a don't like clinch. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. If it wins your fights, at the end of the day, my opinion is irrelevant. If you win in the fights, you win in the fights. But, you know, if you actually genuinely want to get the takedown, once you're tried to clinch and they've got the underhooks on you, you need to disengage. You need to disengage, reset, work on your setups, and then go for your takedown that way. If you really want to go for the takedown. If you're just trying to grind and keep yourself... Because that's what I also think about most of the clinch game. They're just trying to... Especially when you're against the Pereira, he knew he wasn't going to get... He knew he wasn't going to get a takedown. But he knew if he disengages, Pereira might knock him out. So it's basically just playing safe. And I think if judges knew this, if judges appreciated it more, they wouldn't hold any weight to it, you know? Why would they? They'd be like, well, he's obviously just trying to avoid... He's just trying to avoid creating new distance with a striker, right? Good footwork and avoiding clinching sometimes. Yeah. Yes, you're actually significant strikes, not pitter-patter baby leg kicks. That did nothing. I don't know. Have you ever... Hustle Bones, have you ever taken a leg kick? I can assure you... Those things you're calling a baby left kick, if you took one, you'd be in pain. Especially the calf kicks. You don't need a lot of power for calf kicks. They are fucking painful. Bodach, Anklev almost knocked Pereira out at the end of the second round. Oh, yeah. I saw. cracked Pereira many times and had your hero neutralized. Pereira's not my hero. I don't think I have a UFC hero anymore. Actually, yeah, no, I don't. I've got high hopes for Aspinall, of course, but a hero? I don't know if I could. I don't know if I've ever called anyone hero. I was big on the Anderson Silva hype train back in the day, but that got a bit stale. I did like Adesanya at the beginning. Then his personal life and the weird fetish shit he had, fell out of love with that, and he got boring as well. Calling Anklev a crutch sniffer is crazy work. Why is it? That's like the nickname, isn't it? Anklev isn't as much of a crotch sniffer as some of the others. At least he strikes. Like, he's got some good striking. You got to hand it to him. He rocked. He clipped him a bunch of times. Crotch sniffer, but Marab does the same. I've got a massive respect for ground game. It's just certain aspects of it do my head in. Boring. No round was clearly Pereira, to be honest. I think some of them were. Come on. I understand where the British lost the war to the Americans. I understand why the British lost the war to the Americans. Why do Americans think the British lost the war to them? I've never understood that. We withdrew voluntarily to protect the Caribbean. And if you were ever going to call it some sort of victory, it's not the Americans, it was the French. It's not like you stood alone back in those days. Plus, America was what? Just a few colonies along the coast? The Britain had no idea the wealth and fortune that you were going to realize heading west. What really happened is the British were very concerned that they would lose the Caribbean, which was a wealthy, produced a lot of resources. So we withdrew to protect that because you had the French helping you. Come on. Americans are so funny. As long as they get a rematch this summer. I think they will get a rematch. There's no way they're not going to rerun that. It was way too close. Bodach, is it possible that your AI is infused with your bias against Dagestanis? I haven't got a bias against Dagestanis. I've got a dislike against Dagestanis. It's effective. It's an effective style. It wins the matches. They've got an incredibly rich and potent wrestling culture, and it's dominating the UFC when they're involved and stuff. But no, I'm not telling the AI I don't like Dagestani wrestling. I mean, I do like it. I mean, when they get the takedown, when you actually get the takedown and the ground and pound comes in the submission games, I love all that shit. I just don't like the clinching. I just find it so boring. It's like every time I'm watching, I'm like, oh my God, he's got his underhooks in. The takedown's gone. Are you really going to grind up against the cage for the next minute and a half? It's like, oh. It's like, come on. Like, give it up. The rematch will happen, definitely. I'm so far behind. Well, I'm not a whole 15 minutes behind already. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to skip. Sorry. Powhatan should take some rest. I think the teep to the body, the teep to the body would help him if he used it more. Yeah, Powhatan has been very active. I'm still not sure whether that's a positive or negative if a fighter's been very active. Because on the one hand, you are going to be a bit sharper maybe, but on the other hand, like, your body can only take so much. And if you're going from camp to camp with very little space in between, is that good for your body or not? I don't know. Giuliano Agenti is a spelling Carbonari. Hang on. All right, anyway, my AI, I will catch up on chat. I'm sorry. I'm finished here. I got 2 out of 5. Join me next week. See if we can get this a bit more accurate. And I will be doing the full fight card next time.
knowledgeable Fisticuffs. Tomorrow's news in 2 days from today.
Hello. If you are watching this, you are part of the BKWA, Bodach's keyboard warrior army. Backward, fighting lies, tyranny and corruption, one meme at a time. Legacy media is dying, my friend. And memes are now the world's #3 news source behind Elon Musk's X and Chuck Norris movies. If this segment isn't illegal, it will be eventually. Welcome to Knowledgeable Fisticuffs, your sword and shield against globalist scum. Where was I in the chat? Yeah, the inside foot, Usiles, the inside foot sweep of Trip could have been used more from Poatan, but used a lot of energy. Yeah. But yeah, Poatan's grappling is still... You can tell what Poatan's doing, can't you? Like, he's not really working on grappling. Not really. He's working purely on defense. Like, I'm sure he's doing his jiu-jitsu and wrestling and whatnot, but you know the focus in camp is purely on takedown defense and getting back out of it. Interview the judges immediately. That's what I'm saying, Matua. I just think there needs to be a little bit more information on who the judges are, their history, what they do. Oh, yeah, man. Canucci's Northern Italy roll rotten milk. I eat linguine. Oh my god. Train AI to analyze the judges. A Will musical. Hello. I just need to find out when they announce the judges. If they announce the judges before the Wednesday, then I'll start analyzing the judges and what their biases have been in previous fights. I'm sure the data's out there. The data's available after the fight, so I'll be able to scrape that pretty easy. I don't think they announce until it happens. No, Hustle Bows, don't tell me that. You'd think that they have to announce the judges. I suppose, again, if they also announce the judges too soon, organised crime starts getting involved a little bit earlier, doesn't it? Like trying to bribe them and stuff. It's such a minefield. But it's so infuriating because the judges, whenever it comes to a decision, it's so consequential. We need to know if a judge, imagine if you're a gambler. It must be infuriating, right? Surely you want to know who's judging. The judge that got fired in Australia for giving Tiavice, what's his fucking name? 3 rounds over Rosenstrike was fireable by law in Australia because in the US judges are employed by the Gaming Commission and harder to vet. Yes, exactly. That's the problem. You can see Bodach's eyes when he's closer to the camera. Yes, you can. Sometimes the day of the fight, we found out the judges. I know, that's so annoying. There's so much consequence. Imagine if you got 3 judges that favoured striking. All 3 judges had a strong bias towards strikers. Do you think Ankalaev would have won that? Do you actually think he would have won that? Don't shout, Gio. I've got a headache. Oh, yeah, Gio. Come on, no shouting. You know Sunday. Oh, yeah. I don't know, because me and Gilly were sort of quote-unquote beefing. I don't know if you've really been watching my streams, but Sunday's like my chilled-out night. It's just my chilled-out evening. Bodach, Inter beats Liverpool in UEFA Champions League. No, Gilly, no fucking way. Liverpool are doing the double this season. Because he's thrown away the cup matches because whatever. But I think Liverpool. I think the thing is, Gilly, what you have to understand is there's a very real chance that Liverpool might wrap up the league really early. Like really, really early, like shockingly early. So for those last few Champions League games, we're going to have the luxury of being able to field our B team. The B team will be fielded just because we won't need any more points because we've won the league, which means every Champions League match is going to get a full, fresh first team squad. There's no way Liverpool doesn't win the Champions League with a fresh first team. Liverpool have the single best first team in all of global football right now. It's undeniable. Inter's only chance of beating Liverpool is if we lose a couple of key players. Like if we lost McAllister, we're fucked. Because Liverpool's in a similar position as Manchester City. Because they lost Rodri and that was their anchor. So they're fucked. And Liverpool have McAllister. That's our anchor. So if we lost McAllister, we're fucked. We don't have quality like that to back him up. We're fucked, mate. People don't understand, like, football teams are so fragile. Like, you might have the most phenomenal squad. Even the Galacticos of old, they had that one key player. If we lose either Salah, McAllister, or Virgil van Dijk, we'll start losing matches. Italy has 7. Inter, Lazio, AC Milan, Napoli, Juventus, Roma. Shut up. That's not. They got 4, Gilly. Come on. I'm sorry. What is this? Hang on. I'm sorry. I know you're Italian, but please. They're not even the best league in Europe. They're third. The best league is the Premier League, followed by La Liga, then it's Serie A, then it's the Bundesliga. But Bundesliga can be third sometimes. Lazio are 5th. Bologna are 6th. I'm sorry. Roma are 7th. You've got Inter, Juventus, and Napoli. Maybe Lazio. They're like your main. Roma, yeah, Roma's all right. You're 4. Come on. You got fucking Milan down there 9th. Sorry, Gilly. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but Italians, when it comes to European football, Italians are currently the 3rd. In the 90s, there was a strong case for saying the Italians were the best. It comes and goes, doesn't it? Sometimes the Italians dominate, sometimes it's the Spanish. Like in the 2000s, and in the 2000s and early 2010s, obviously, and well, actually, pretty much for the 2000s and 2010s, it was the Spanish were dominating. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Champions League. Okay. So we got let's have a look at the finals. So last season, obviously, that was Real Madrid and Dortmund. So there was no Italian teams there. So the year before that, Man City and Inter. So English-Italian. Before that, Liverpool, Madrid. English and Spanish. Before that, Man City, Chelsea. Double whammy, 2 English teams. Before that, Paris and Bayern Munich. No Italians. Then before that, Tottenham and Liverpool. Another double whammy for 2 English teams. So in the last 10 years, we've had 2 all-English finals. The year before that, Madrid and Liverpool. Come on. Come on, Gilly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in the last 10 years, you've had 1. Hang on, who is this? You had 1. You've had 2 finalists in the last 10 years, Gilly. There's been 2 Italian finalists in the last 10 years. Now count the English teams in the last 10 years. Hang on. I can actually show you the screen. Last 10 years. Let's count them. Wait, I've lost count. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mate, there's been an English team in the European. There's been an English team in a Champions League final 7 out of 10 for the last decade. If you can't recognise English dominance, like I don't know how else to explain it. Juve got their arse beat today, yeah. We need a Gilly versus Bodach football debate. I think Gilly's not really he's not. I'm a Liverpool fan. I love the Premier League in England. I'm not like a connoisseur of global football. For example, whenever Mark Smith is ref, I try not to bet that fight because that motherfucker sucks. Okay, that's another thing I need to factor into my AIs. I haven't done that. I need to build into I need to build in who the refs are, so I need to find out when they announce the refs as well. If you don't find out till the last day, I might just have to start doing the AI predictions. I'm not around. I'm never here on Saturday. It has to be Thursday, unfortunately, because from Friday to Sunday, I'm never at home. But I definitely need to factor in who's refereeing as well, because that's obviously going to play a factor. Africa Cup of Nations. See, I don't know anything about Africa Cup of Nations. I don't follow it. Plus, with Africa, all their best, it's like Latin America and Africa. All the best footballers play in Europe. Why does grappling have to lead to a takedown? No, it doesn't have to lead to a takedown, but it has to lead to something, Hustle Bones. I'm sorry, but if you get the clinch and the other guy's got his underhooks in, statistics show you're not getting the breakdown. So when you're just grinding up against the cage for 2 minutes, no one's achieving anything. So in my opinion, I think the judges should just ignore it. If you've got 2 minutes that got up against the clinch, and then there's 2 minutes of the round where they're on the feet, you should just judge based on the time on their feet. Or if there's a takedown, then factor in control time and stuff. I just think clinching's fucking shit. Bodach Serie A has 8 teams minimum vying for first. I just listed them but forgot Atlanta. All right, fair enough, Gilly. Maybe they do. It's just whenever you come across them in a Champions League, it's always the same. It's always the same couple of teams. When you reach the later stages of the Champions League, who's there? Who's there? There's always the Dortmunds. There's always the Bayern Munichs. There's always the PSGs, the Liverpool, City, Madrid, Barca. It's always the same. Okay, let me flip that logic on you, Bodach. Pereira trying to only strike with better grapplers than him. It's just taking the safe route. That's a good way to think about it, Hustle. Can't exactly deny it. And I'd also say that I'd lean into that, and I agree with you. When Adesanya, for example, towards the end of his title reign, he was becoming more and more distant. He was just moving and distant and chipping. He was just jabbing and chipping away, and using his distance management to play safe. I'd say that's the same as a grappler clinching with no hope of getting a takedown. It's the two opposite ends, yeah. I find Ankalev boring, and I found Israel Adesanya boring, and they're both literally two opposite ends of the scale. Adesanya never gets close. Ankalev never seems to. He likes to hug you to death. So yeah. Inter Miami. Is that David Beckham's club? USA tied England last World Cup. Oh, I know they tied, but who got to the final? England's World Cup. For fuck's sake. The thing is about England, right, is you've got, because I coach grassroots football. So when you coach grassroots football, you get, it's through the FA. So the FA train you, they give you your coaching qualifications, and they encourage a style of play and the English way, this identity. So all of our players in England, in that they're going through with this identity, and then they're looking for managers who are going to play the England game with this identity. The problem is the FA are completely out of touch, because the style of football in the Premier League is not the style of football the FA are chasing. And that's why England fall apart in major tournaments. Like, when you watch Spain play international football, the style of football reflects the general style of La Liga. And you can say the same about the Italians and the Germans. They carry their top league's personality into their international team. But England are one of the only fucking countries that don't. It's like, no, we got to play the England way. It's like, what the fuck you mean the England way? Play the Premier League way. It's dominant. And you get, and when you get involved in grassroots football, when you're coaching kids and stuff, you get a little insight into the mindset of the FA. And it's bad. Like, England have got no fucking hope. of winning a World Cup until they actually start playing and looking for managers who are going to play like they do in the Premier League. And I can't remember the last time they actually, like, Gareth Southgate's fucking useless. But why the hell aren't they trying to hire a Premier League manager? Like, honestly, England's fucked. Mandalimo's my hero. Cheds, that was a group stage match. It was. Laying a World Cup group stage. I mean, to be fair, the group stages don't mean nothing. That's not what damage means in the unified criteria. It means whatever brings the fight closer to finishing. It's not physical science thing. That's a good point, Hustle. I heard Joe Rogan saying that as well. Because you obviously got people like the Nate brothers and stuff who've got all that scar tissue. You know what I mean? When they wake up, if they woke up out of bed, they're bleeding. They're always bleeding. Tell them, Bodach. I'm so far behind. Bodach, would you marry Amanda Lemos, then cheat on Amanda with... No. It's... Call me old-fashioned, but women getting in a cage and fighting, it's not the most attractive thing in the world, is it? I like femininity. I like femininity mature. I like to feel big and strong. I wouldn't date a woman who could kick my ass or beat me in an arm wrestle. I'm old school, mate. You don't get what I'm saying. Damage-based scoring, by definition, ceases to matter judge to judge. It's scored too subjectively. Yes, Gilly, that's what I'm... Then this is what I'm saying. We need to know who's going to be judging the fights beforehand, because surely, like, once the fight's gone in and then you get the real-time bookies odds, the bookies are looking at the judges like, oh, okay, we know what these judges do. Now that we know. Anyway. If you know history, the UK has always chill as fuck with the US. Oh, of course, usually. We always have been. The British Empire was a strange one. People think that we just went around conquering the world. It wasn't quite like that. And the vast majority of our former colonies voted themselves out. Like India and all the rest of it. They didn't... like, and obviously there was some troubles and Gandhi and all that. I know there was a bit of issues. But ultimately, our colonies voted themselves out. It was more like it was primarily trade. Like America having independence literally meant nothing to us because at the end of the day, you still use a central bank backed by the City of London. You still trade. That's it. And one of the main reasons the British went and colonized places was because they were underdeveloped. We needed the resources, but the people who lived there didn't mine them. So we just moved in and started mining and trading and whatnot. It was a trading empire. There's a few similarities with the Ottoman Empire. It was the Spanish that went around actually fucking conquering people with violence. The Spanish Empire was way more brutal than the British one. And the Dutch Empire is similar as well. It's more of a trading thing. America was never not going to trade with Britain, so we didn't really need to fight for it. I get what you're saying. I read what you said, Gillian Argentina. I'm so far behind. Hello, everyone. Hello, DJ Aiden. How are you? Facts, Jiggy. I knew the UFC was dying when they started to introduce the cage control stats, as if it was a positive thing. That's what I'm saying, Jiggy. It's obviously, if you have a fight and it's literally just 15 pure minutes of someone pressed up against the cage, and that's the whole fight, and there's nothing else happens, then of course you give the dominant fighter the win. Of course. And if that's how a fighter chooses to win their matches, it's on the other fighter to have an answer for it. You can't like, oh, fuck you. I'm just saying, in a fight where there's a mixture, where you got some stand-up and you got some clinching and whatnot, I just think you should hold more weight on the actual other stuff. If there's something else in the fight to analyze, you should prioritize that and dismiss mostly the clinch game. because the clinch never leads to anything. Only the best grapplers or people who make mistakes. Potan's bad performance is getting overlooked a bit, but still. Yeah, it was a bad performance. I did not expect Ankalev to be clipping him quite as easily as he did. Like he did get hit a fair few times. Why was his performance bad? I just said he got clipped. I'm gonna have to skip something. Yeah, Ankalev made it happen. Yeah. Evening, Joey. How are you? Yeah, Potan couldn't deal with Ank's speed and pressure. He is deceptively quick, actually, now you think about it. I wasn't paying. Bodach, play this, please. Okay. Let's have a look first. It's not going to get me copyrighted, is it? It's 43 minutes long. It's a Vinny clip as well. Why do you want me to play a Vinny clip? And he's left a little comment. Why would you want me to play this? Are you just trying to upset me? And he's got one comment, which is from himself. Glazing himself. The definition of ahead of your time. Come on. 45 minutes of silly voices. I saw the one of him doing Hank the Tank for about 5 minutes. I just, man. It's just two people making silly voices at each other. Could someone send me a video clip of an actual impressionist where you can just listen to them and know exactly who they're actually being? That would be fantastic. Asking me to play a Vinny clip. You know I'm not a fan. Anakin, how are you doing today? Oh, say. I think people overselling the grappling being the deciding factor, to be honest. That's a good point. Giuliano Genti, my favourite YouTuber. Some high praise, DJ Aiden. Liverpool have to get past PSG first. Oh, musical, don't. That was a scary match. Liverpool, I say Liverpool wins the Premier League this season. You've also got to remember the second leg is at Anfield. That's a different beast. It's a European night at Anfield. The atmosphere alone can really because that's the one thing about that PSG game. You've got to remember the stadium. You got to remember the 12th man effect. People who don't really understand football will always leave that bit out, the 12th man. PSG has an incredibly intimidating atmosphere. It's one of the few places in Europe with an real purely venomous, intimidating. Like that's a scare. Did you not hear them? It sounded like they were fucking having a war crying there. But now they've got to come to Anfield, and that's a different beast. It's a very, very hostile place. You saw Barcelona, mate. Barcelona whipped Liverpool at the Bernabeu 3-0. They came to Anfield and they lost 4-0. They just completely capitulated because it's that 12th man. When you got 50,000 odd angry Scousers, 3 feet, there's only 4 or 5 feet away from the pitch. It's like, that breaks people. The French put their crowd behind a fucking barrier. You don't get that luxury in Anfield there. You see their eyes. Liverpool got battered by PSG. Yeah, they still won it though, didn't they? It's goals that matter. We got League Cup 2. That's a treble, buddy. Yeah, is it though? He's going to field a shitty team for that. They'll throw the B team at that. Gilly Bodach MMA bet time. He's about a week behind on chat. Surprise. I'm sorry. I'm not used to people being in my chat. I haven't even got 300 followers yet. Any more than 3 or 4 chats, and I'm literally 20 minutes behind. Give me a break, Lane. I'm still learning. Damn, that doesn't look good for a first try. No, Joey, I fucked up. My AIs are shit, but we are going to fine tune them. I got 17 points of consideration. At the minute, they're all valued equally, so I'm going to adjust that and hopefully get some more accurate results. And I'm going to dig a little deeper into if you can find out who's judging and whatnot first. We need an AI to beat Gilly. Mate, I'm starting to think Gilly is AI. Like his ability to consume and retain like sporting knowledge. I mean, the only way you can describe it is autistic, right? It's like he's got that sort of Rain Man level of picking stuff up. Italy has 4 World Cup victories. How many does? Oh, don't you dare, Gilly. Don't you dare. I've explained the problem of the England team. The England team doesn't reflect. It doesn't reflect the Premier League. England and the Premier League are two different things. The Premier League isn't driving the England team. The England team is holding it back. You know what I mean? Every other nation takes their top league and incorporates the general personality of it and then takes it into international tournaments. England are not doing that. If they did, there's a good chance we'll win things. Gillian Identity, I left you a comment on your last stream. Bodach, stop fish flopping national tournaments. Italy has 4 World Cup victories. UK has. We have 1. But how many champions? Well, England is one of the most dominant teams in Champions League history. Second only to Spain. And most of Spain's, I mean, it's pretty much Real Madrid. If you actually look at the split of victories, more different British teams have won a Champions League, where for Spain, it's pretty much almost Real Madrid with a few Barca wins and a few other little. Italy beat England in the Euro Cup last year, all right. You're talking national teams, man. Gilly, stop changing the Italian goalposts. Gilly Cellini is a cheating fuck, that's why. Yeah, the Italians. I mean, the Italians have had a dominant national team during periods in history. Did they win Italia 90? They did, didn't they? I remember they won the World Cup maybe a decade ago. I remember that because there's a massive Italian population in Cambridge, and I was in Cambridge that day when they win it, and they were like, honest to God, it was like a riot. Oh man, if England won the World Cup, well, why would you ignore one man controlling the other man, especially if he's landing strikes? If he's landing strikes, yeah, that's fair enough. Carlos Pratis KO'd someone from the clinch. It's the exception, though. Don't start arguing exceptions. You got to look at the overall statistics, which do suggest that once the underhooks are in, very, very little happens. You might get some soft strikes in. You might wiggle around a bit. But the statistics show that most of the time it leads to nothing. Once the underhooks are in, your best bet is to disengage. The only reason you'd maintain that clinch is if you was a grappler and you were cautious of a distance with a striker. That's it. In 2020, Rashford fucked. Oh, Rashford, man, God, the most overrated fucking player in history. He's fucking shit. He's so fucking shit. The clinch can look violent and be the most violent position, especially the plum clinch, Mai Tai clinch. Yeah, well, that's the Mai Tai clinch. If you've got the Mai Tai grip in and stuff, you're not. That's a different ball game. I'm talking about the specific situation where the defender has the underhooks in. He's got his wide base set, so you're not getting any sweeps. He's got the underhooks in, so you're not going to get any. You're not going to get any hip throws. You're not going to get any takedowns. You're not going to get any trips. Once those underhooks in, you got a wide base. It's even the most elite grapplers struggle. Yeah, Anderson Silva's clinch, but he didn't clinch. He wouldn't just stay there with someone's underhooks on him. He had that Mai Tai clinch. He had his elbows tucked in, head pulled down. Yeah, Anderson's fucking clinch. That was brutal. But with Ankalev and Pereira was very quick to get the underhooks in. He was very quick to get a wide stance. And from that position, nothing much is going to come of it. You know what I mean? It just gets a little bit from a perspective. spectator's point of view, it's a bit boring. England national team is trash compared to Italy. I'm not going to disagree, Gilly. The England national team has had a 4-5 decade long issue with its identity, and it doesn't reflect its top division, where Italy's does. You can get an idea of how Spain are going to approach a tournament by what's happening in the La Liga, and you can get an idea of how Italy are going to approach a tournament by what's happening in Serie A. When it comes to England, you can all but guarantee you're not going to get Premier League style football coming at you. You're going to get some weird bullshit like Gareth Southgate, whatever the fuck he was doing. Gilly, it's the opposite. England have incredibly talented players that can't play as a team. Italy have incredibly mid players that always play well as a team. But that's what I'm getting at, Musical. Imagine England with their players actually bring the personality of the Premier League into the national team. You tell me they're not going to win tournaments. Tell me they're not going to win tournaments. Let's go, Bodach. Hello, Sniff. Bodach, Black Spitterverse. Bodach, Black Spitterverse. I can't rap to save my life, mate. It's nice to see you here, Sniff. I want to have a talk with you, Sniff, actually, because you keep talking about the creator being a machine and stuff, and I want to know more. I love hearing new perspectives on spirituality and reality and all that kind of stuff. Sniff, how's your dogs doing? Okay. One dead, one alive. Oh, that's harsh. Sorry about your dog. I've been lurking and laughing for the last 7 minutes or so. How is everyone doing? Now, what's up, Crystal? It's nice to see you back. Sniff, I'm so sorry about you loss. Mate, Sniff, that's brutal, man. Losing the dog. Fucking hell. It's a member of the family at the end of the day. Always a hard time. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Sniff, mate. Fuck me. Both teams' players. I think after that PSG game, Alisson Becker quite clearly proved he was the best goalie alive. Only best defender in the world. The best defender in the world is Virgil van Dijk. Gilly, come on. Gilly, stop being a sausage. The best goalie alive right now is Alisson from Liverpool. The best defender alive right now is Virgil van Dijk. It's not even debatable. He's the only defender that's even got close to a Ballon d'Or. Come on. He's the best. And the best winger right now is Mohamed Salah. You know what I mean? The best anchorman is by far Rodri from Manchester City. The best striker in the world is Haaland from Man City. The best right back, I mean, that's contentious, but I'm sorry, but it is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Bodach, care to wager? Inter goes further than Liverpool in Champions League. I'm not a gambling Gilly. I make bets of consequence and forfeits, but if it involves money, I don't go near it. First of all, it's a sin. Second of all, it's haram. It's gambling, man. I won't go near it. Plus, I've seen family go down that hole, mate. I got a family member who literally had to declare himself bankrupt because of credit card debt due to fucking gambling. He lost his fucking mortgage. You know what I mean? Gambling, man. I won't go near it. Dangerous. Especially if you're like me. I got an addictive personality. I can't go near it. I know myself too well. That's why I'll never gamble. The only gambling I will do is investing. That's it. And even then, I play it safe. Like crypto, I don't touch altcoins. I stick with Bitcoin. And when it comes to investments, I'd only go with index funds. I'd never like gamble on actual stocks and do stock trading. I'd just focus on low yields and index funds. I wouldn't gamble, mate. I don't. It's too scary. I've seen what it does to people. Nah, bro. Block plays the best AI at Wembley. And yeah, the Mickey Mouse Cup still counts towards treble, don't it? It still counts towards the treble, but he's not going to play. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'd still prioritize progressing through the Champions League, even just a knockout phase. I'd still think that's more valuable than a League Cup win. If you got a Champions League game coming up in the week, and you got the final of the League Cup in the weekend, you're gonna rotate. It's more important to progress in the Champions League than to win the League Cup. It just has to be. The League Cup's just a nonsense. British teams littered with foreign players. Your national acumen is soft and squishy. Yeah, it's an international league, mate, but the England squad, England have got some very good players. You've got to remember, Gilly, that the Premier League has, I don't know if it's a Premier League thing or a European football thing, but there's conditions that every single team has to have a certain amount of English players in the squad, and it also has to field a certain amount of England's players in the squad. And England has an incredibly deep and rich youth system because they have to. They literally have to have English players in their teams, and they have to be playing them week in, week out. So the amount of money and development that goes into the English academies is mental. It's one of the most well-funded academies in the world. Now, I play grassroots football, right? I don't play, I coach it. None of my players are going to be anywhere near a World Cup. They're not that good. It's a small village at the end of the day. Yet, we still get a scout come and watch the game now and again. Gilly, if you understood the money involved and the requirements, the fact that my little grassroots village football game has FA scouts watching them just to see any signs of talent. And if there is, they get scooped up by academies straight away. They're after them really young, mate, like 7, 8 years old. They're looking. They're planning for World Cups 20, 30 years away from now. But yeah, there is a lot of international players, but you're looking at that. You're saying, oh, the British teams are littered with foreigners, like that's a bad thing. That's actually not a bad thing at all. You got to remember that our English players are training and playing next to the best players in the world from all around the world. That improves the standards. It doesn't reduce them. What would reduce them is if they were allowed to just go completely international and have no English players, but they're not allowed to. So it's actually a positive that so many phenomenal foreign players come to the British League because it rubs off on English players. Should we all stop typing so bro can catch up? Okay, now, to be fair, England has been one of the best national teams the last 5 years. Only the last tourney, we were proper shit. And we still got to the final. Held back by poor manager. Exactly, Jiggy. If a manager was around going, hang on, how do they play in the Premier League? Okay. So that's how these players play week in, week out. Okay, so if we do that, they'll just be continuing that. And how about we play them in their positions as well? That would be a nice thing for England. Playing the style of football they play week in, week out, in the positions they play week in, week out. You tell me that team's not going to win World Cups. Yeah, so hampered. We're getting to finals of tournaments. We're getting to finals of tournaments despite being hampered. You're right, Brutal. That's the truth, Brutal. I think Gilly's looking at it from a gambler's perspective and an American perspective as well. If you were in England, you'd know full well just how much we handicap our own national team. And we've been doing it for fucking decades. Every 2 leagues is filled with foreign players. Every top league. Exactly. I can probably Google it. Hang on. European football leagues. Let's have a look. The percentage of foreign players in European football leagues varies by league. Yes, that's what I'm trying to ask. So the Premier League has the highest percentage of foreign players among top 5 European leagues. So that's the thing. Serie A. The Italians are second. Gilly. The Italian league's are second. That's pretty funny. So the league with the most foreign players and percentages is the Premier League, followed by Serie A, then League One in France, then the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga, okay. I wouldn't have thought the Germans ranked so high, and then it's La Liga in Spain. And the number of foreign players in European leagues has increased. Oh, there you go, Gilly. So the percentage of foreign players in the Premier League is actually declining, while the percentage of foreign players in Serie A is increasing. So there you go. So yeah, we do have more foreign players, but if the current trend continues, Italy are on course to become in the league with the most foreign players. Fence grappling drains energy, especially defensively. Puts blood in your arms. Yes, that's a good point, Hustle. I wasn't thinking about that. That is a very good point. It is draining, and that is a perfectly legitimate strategy in a fight. You want to tire the guy out. So yeah, I'll concede on that one. I'll concede on that one. You're still not going to get the takedown. Statistics show it that you're unlikely. It's fucking boring. But I'll concede that it's got a place. And there is positive. There's obviously a reason for it, and it does drain the arms and zaps energy. So yeah, Hustle. Fair point. 4-1 Magomed. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm so far behind. I'm sorry. Hustle Bones has no idea what he's talking about. I don't know, mate. That was a pretty good one. If you go and train in jiu-jitsu and stuff, if you're in a good gym and have got padded walls and stuff, you'll do a little bit of grappling against the wall. It is fucking knackering. When you're trying to fight someone's takedown off, it is fucking knackering. Because you're constantly pushing down. You're pushing down, or you're pushing your elbows up. It really takes it out on your shoulders and your arms. Especially if you're having to dip down as well. It's like, sometimes if you're doing that kind of session at jiu-jitsu, I mean, it's been a long time since I did it. It's similar to leg day. Like if you do a bunch of squats, you go the next day, your legs will be jelly. It is draining being pressed up against the wall. You last won a tournament 60 years ago before any of us were born. There's nothing. Fucking hell. When have the USA ever won a tournament? The USA are only the best in sports that they are the only ones that play. Here's the thing about you Americans that you don't understand. You've got one international sport, and that's the UFC. And it's filled with foreign champions and foreign contenders. If basketball, well, actually, don't the Europeans beat you in basketball in the Olympics? Don't the European teams beat you in basketball in the Olympics? Isn't that a thing? Like, if the rest of the world played baseball, you're not going to be winning whatever it is. If the rest of the world played American football, it wouldn't be that long before a European team or something beat you in the Super Bowl. Let's face it. Come on. America only dominates in sports that they're the primary player of it. England could have easily won one or more of the last few tourneys. Yeah, it is small margins. I'm going to have to skip. Hey, what's up, Chrissy J? Gaz, at least we're competing in... Oh, Gaz is Scottish, isn't he? Oh, God. It's all this talk of England. He's just sat up there with his little Scottish league, whose Celtic just win all the fucking time. It's like... God, I forgot. They fucking hate the English when it comes to football. Guys, at least we're competing in tournaments at the highest level. It's better than not having a team in the race at all. Oh, man. Scottish football. There is the thing, right? Not many people know this, but I think it was the 1980 World Cup. Scotland went in as one of the favourites. I bet Gaz probably remembers that. But yeah, I think it was the 1980... Was it the 1980 World Cup or 82? The World Cup around 1980, Scotland quite literally went into that tournament as one of the favourites, and they didn't even get out the first round. Gilly's going to get triggered. Allison being the best keeper. What's your cast now? But he fucking is. He was a bit shit because he was recovering from an injury, but come on. That PSG game, it was PSG versus Alison Becker. And Alison Becker won. He was absolutely fucking phenomenal. Can't argue with Salah. Yeah. The problem with Salah is he's there now. Like, maybe next season he's good, but after that he's going to tail off. He's reaching that age. Like, the thing is about, like, Ronaldo, for example, his legs went and his pace went, but he was still Ronaldo. That's the one thing about Salah. He's not Ronaldo. So in the next, if not next season, the one after, you'll see a massive drop off in his pace as the age catches up with him. And he hasn't got his game revolves so much on his pace and his ability to shift momentum and change direction so quick. And he's not got much of, he's only got a season or two of that left, and after that I don't think he's got much else. But yeah, I think Salah's only got a couple of good seasons left. Bro, best striker in the world is Messi. Yeah, but Messi's not really competitive anymore, is he? I mean, a couple of years ago, yeah, but once America, the thing is, when you go off to America, that's that's semi-retirement. I know, like, I want America to have a good soccer league and become competitive on the global stage, but they're not. And it's just a way for players to semi-retire, get a massive paycheck, but the level of competition just isn't there. Compared, like, if Messi was back at Barcelona, you'd probably notice how much he's probably declined, because obviously age catches up with everyone. Like, Ronaldo went back to Manchester United for a bit and he was crap. He couldn't keep up. Trent isn't the best right back. Who's the best right back then? We have some of the best young talent in the world for the development of English football. We do. We spend so much money on our youth system, more so than most other countries. Brutally, I really don't care about football anymore. A bunch of overpaid pussies chasing a bag of air. Don't cut it for me anymore. I kind of feel you there, Gaz. I got back into football this year, but I can't say I get excited. I watch it because it's there and I got nothing else to do. I get excited for UFC. Like, I remember I was watching the replay of the Pereira fight. I was nervous. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it's such a big fight. There's such consequences. I don't know if Ankalev is going to be as good a champion. Pereira was active. Is Ankalev going to be active? Is he going to take things on? Because historically, the Dagestanis, they're not. They don't make good champions. They're not. They tend to back off once they've got the belt. Pereira was a good champion, and as boring as he was, people like Adesanya, at least they were active. Anderson Silva, active. All these amazing champions. For me, what makes a really good champion is activity. I hate John Jones. I hate how inactive he is. I got a feeling that when Aspinall's champion, he'll probably defend it at least twice a year, if not 3 times. Bodach, no money, friendly fade wager. If I win, you put an Italian flag in your profile picture for 30 days. Okay. I'll take that bet. But what do I get, Gilly? What do I want? I want you, Gilly. I'll tell you what I want you to do if I win. I want you to print off a photo of me, Bodach, and put it on your ceiling to cover up that torched cat. So instead of people seeing the cat that's been burnt into your ceiling, they see a poster of Bodach. And if you win, I'll change my profile photo to an Italian flag for 30 days. 30 days is quite long though. But I will. I'll do my YouTube profile picture as an Italian flag. If Bodach wins, Gilly converts to Islam. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Yeah, Gilly, you have to convert to Islam and start oppressing women. You have to start throwing gays off rooftops. Football was way better in the 90s before Sky came in and ruined the game. Did Sky ruin it? I think what ruined football was the modernisation. Like, there's little bits here and there. Like for example, if you score a worldie and you take your top off, why are they getting a yellow card? Why are they getting a yellow card? What the fuck? Why? Why'd they get a yellow card for taking a top off? No, I mean, and the other thing is about football is it's a contact sport. And some of these fouls they're giving away, man, fuck off. If you get the ball first, it doesn't. If you get the ball first, it shouldn't matter if the other player falls head over heels and breaks his neck and both legs. If you get the ball first, it's a contact sport. It's only a foul if you hit the player first. But you're seeing perfectly clean tackles, and they're getting fucking booked for dangerous. So fuck off. It's a contact sport. Go and read the rules of the fucking game. It's a contact sport. You're allowed to shoulder barge. You're allowed to shoulder barge. As long as you get the ball first and you don't shove, it should be legal. But they're calling for fouls now for shoulder barging. Like Virgil van Dijk, and I can't remember who they were playing. It was only a couple of weeks ago. He was running side to side, and he just basically barged him to throw him off balance, and the player obviously fell off arse over tits. That's fucking legal. And he got called up on a foul. They just forget that, man. I think what ruined football is they made it too soft. It's a fucking contact sport. Watched the game the other day, and the standards of players was absolute dog shit. I don't know, Gaz. Don't know if I agree with that one. There's certainly a lack of world-class players now. Guaranteed. There's no more Maradonas and Pelés and whatnot. And Messi and Ronaldo are probably the two last truly great world-class players. And there's not, I can't think of anyone else at that level. But at the same time, the gap, the spectrum's way narrower now. Because when Ronaldo first came to prominence, he was playing against some fucking shitty players. But now, every single player is at least fielding 11 pure athletes. Every single team has a squad full of pure athletes with razor sharp core fundamentals. Every player's passing it well. Every player's got a good first touch. Every player is, you know, they've got that base level. Like, I'd say the standards, the lower part of the standards has increased tenfold since the 90s. The problem is there's no world-class players anymore. Italy's youth system mogs England. Shh, come on, Gilly, stop it now. I hear you, but Slot's been picking that same team consistently, even when he played 5 and 15 days. Are you sure? Because they got knocked out the FA Cup recently because he fielded a B team. Now, Gilly, England have way better youngsters. Honestly, England, people, the problem with England isn't the talent, it's the management. It's been that way for 30 years. England have never had a shortage of top talent. It's the management's the problem. The culture. We've got the cultures too separate. We've got an England national team trying to have its own culture and system and philosophy. And we've got a Premier League where the organic philosophy and culture is developing and evolving into a dominant force in global football, and the two are completely separate. That's the problem of the England national team. Italy's youth team has Vinny hijacked your account. If Vinny has hijacked his account, he'd be talking about fucking Islamic players and how they're dominant. To be honest, you're all biased towards your own teams and can't see the woods for the trees. Yeah, fair point, Gaz. We're obviously the English guys are going to defend England. The Italians will defend Italy. And the American will defend. I'm sorry. I do hope soccer catches on in America and they become a global force, because I think it'll be good. It does get a bit annoying because Europe's so dominant, it gets to a point now, it's like, well, You know what I mean? Imagine the Copa America, knowing that it's more prolific. I mean, obviously Argentina got the World Cup, but it's like, meh. Like, you got the World Cup and then you got the Euros, and Euros are amazing. I'd even say the standards in the Championship is better than Serie A. I don't know about that, brutal. Although the Championship is pretty cool. The standard of football in a Championship, the standard of football in England's second division is definitely light years ahead of the second divisions of the rest of Europe. The Championship is way better than Serie B and the second divisions of the other teams. The Championship's probably better than the Scottish Premier League. I mean, let's face it. I think Celtic and Rangers would struggle in the Championship. Tuchel is a massive upgrade on Southgate. Anyone's fucking upgrade on Southgate. Southgate was a fucking sick joke. Imagine hiring a fucking manager for the England national team who's never won a fucking trophy as a manager. He only won one trophy as a fucking player. And it was what, a League Cup? He didn't have the pedigree and the career to justify the position he found himself in. Gaz, Bodach's hair is connected to Bodach's hat is connected to his head. No, it's not. I've not really watched footy since COVID. I've got into it. I was just saying, Gaz, I stopped watching, but I got back into it this year. This is the first season I've watched since the 2020-21 season. Still more foreign players. Yeah, I'm so far behind. So that was 23-22. Yeah, I'm 25 minutes behind. I'm going to have to skip. Fucking hell. Nah, USA won gold last time. Oh, did they? You're talking about the basketball. Inter Milan have 7 Italian players. It's their 24-man squad, guys. Okay. Does Italy have the same rules as England that they have to field a certain amount of Italian players? USA also dominates Olympics. Yes, USA does dominate the Olympics, to be fair. But you are 300 million people. You're an empire or a republic, whatever it is. And you're the richest country in the world with a sporting pedigree. So yeah, it makes sense that America would dominate because you're the one and only global superpower as well. Villa have 8 players homegrown. Nice. Alisson Howler against Southampton. Yeah. True. Salah has 3 all-time stinkers in a row. Most top teams only have 7 or 8 homegrown players. It's standard across European football. True. When I was Googling up those stats earlier about the most foreign players, yeah, it's probably from the top teams in the leagues, isn't it? Did Italy even make the last World Cup? I can't actually remember. Most of the national teams represent their nations visually. England's looks more third world than English. The hate from Gaz Ninja, just the Scottishness is coming through. The fucking England, fuck them, fuck the English, fuck the English, fucking bunch of fucking cocksuckers. I should be able to do a Scottish accent considering I was born in Glasgow. You fucking English, you fucking English, go fuck yourself. Throw yourself off a fucking cliff, you fucking idiot. Get fucked, you fucking English national team. Bunch of fucking third world fucking immigrants. Useless fucking bastard. I can't say bastards in this country. You useless fucking cunts, you fucking stupid cunts. You stupid cunts, you. Fuck England and the fucking national team. That's Gaz Ninja right now. Fucking football. Who gives a fuck about football? Football. UFC is where it's at. Everyone should watch UFC. Fucking footballs for fucking pussies. Albania. It's got Celtic. Celtic only have 6 players. Fucking wankers. Messi plays in the MLS. Exactly, the MLS. Messi's playing he's doing his retirement tour. That's what the MLS is. It's a retirement tour. Right, I see Salah taking that creator role. Yeah, but Salah taking that creator role, I'm sorry, but without his pace, is he going to compare to Szoboszlai? Szoboszlai is a fucking phenomenal player. He's finding his form. You know what I mean? McAllister, he's better than, he's got some balls. And then you got Trent Alexander-Arnold. Fuck knows why they play him at right back. They should put him in holding next to McAllister for those and have him. I mean, Gilly never said it was young, bringing up a mute point. Galliano going on about his fucking Italian football. Bunch of fucking pussies, if you ask me. We still have a better development system. Messi is 100% still competitive for both MLS and Argentina national team. We'll see in the next tournament. If he plays well in the next tournament, I will concede Lane. But for now, I think he's on his retirement tour. Especially compared to UFC, MMA football is total dog shit. Yeah, I do. UFC is now my favourite sport. It is. It is by far my favourite sport. Football's. I fell out of love with football. I have been watching it again, but I'm not in love with it. Not like I used to. I did watch the last World Cup when England were there, and I've quite literally cried. Like 20 years ago when they got knocked out, I cried. I was bummed out for a fucking week or two. It took me a while to get over it. They got to a final and they lost this time around. I was like, okay. I woke up the next day and didn't feel nothing. So yeah, I've kind of fallen out with football, but I watch it. I'm getting back into it. But also I was younger back then. Shit means more when you're young, doesn't it? When you got work, life and a family, I think the bread and circuses sort of mean less to you. Plus just having the awareness of bread and circuses and how it's used to sort of pacify the masses. That also takes the edge off. Haha, what a brag from Gilly there. Done. I have a sick photo printer. Of course you do, Gilly. Right, good. We got a bet. If they progress further than Liverpool, I'll change my profile picture to the Italian flag for 30 days. And if Liverpool progress further, Gilly's going to put Bodach up on his ceiling to cover up that monstrosity. Like, why the fuck have you burnt a cat into your ceiling? We didn't get an answer, by the way. We got told the situation, but we didn't get told why. Like, why wouldn't you paint over that? Loser has a fast during the day and fuck their cousins at night. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Salah was... That's another thing about that PSG game. Salah was off, man. Like, the Ramadan just fucks them. These Muslim athletes, man, playing for Ramadan. Fucks them bad, man. He's having to play at the end of a day fast after lots of fast. Oh, mate. If I have to convert to Islam, then Bodach has to host Vinny as a house guest for 30 days. Oh, fucking hell. Imagine that guy. I imagine Vinny smells the way he looks. You know what I mean? I mean, I got teenage boys, mate, and they smell enough. And they shower every day. And they still stink. Can't even imagine what that man smells like. Exactly, Bodach. It's pussy's game now. Yes, it is. I find it funny that Salah gets death threats when he posts his family around Christmas tree every year. Religion of peace. The religion of peace. If you want contact sports, watch football. American football. Nah. Why would you watch American football when rugby is a thing? See, rugby's my third favourite sport. Leeds Rhino. If anyone wants to know what team I support, Leeds Rhinos. Family connection. It's not a choice. I will admit, though, that American football does have a much better highlight reel. Has much better highlight reels, but rugby's a real man's game, you know what I mean? I just can't watch it anymore. It enrages me how soft it is. It is so soft. It's gone. I don't know why they made it so soft. Because the thing is, who's it made soft for? My theory is that they made football soft because there's so much money on it now. Like with the most of the revenue comes from gambling. Almost all the revenue comes from gambling and these showcase events. And for me, I feel like they made it soft just to protect the athletes, so the best players don't get injured so often, which keeps the revenue streams going. And that's it. It's gambling and TV rights, and they need the star players to sell things, right? So I think they made it soft to avoid them getting injured so often. I just think it's definitely not for the spectators, because the spectators don't want it. Most football fans reminisce about the days when it was a bit tougher. The days of Vinnie Jones sliding in and taking Robbie Keane out, and then Robbie Keane stamping on him and shit like that. You know what I mean? Sorry, Scotland is terrible at sport, and Paul Craig is a dying embarrassment, but no need to take it out on me. Scotland, you got to remember, Scotland's a tiny country as well. I think there's only like 5 million people there. I know a bit about Italian youth development, and I know a lot of Italians were arguing about how bad it was last year. The lack of playing time. Okay. So it's not a European thing then, it's specifically a Premier League thing that makes the teams field English players. But when you play Football Manager the game, you have to register a certain amount of English players for the Champions League, right? I don't know. Top rugby player couldn't last a year in football. Well, no, because they're not going to have the technical skills. Lord Guru, get a grip. Lord Geo. Oh, that's what you said, Lord Guru. Lord Geo, get a grip. American football is rugby for pussies. It is. American football, come on, admit it. It would be way more interesting if they didn't have the bodyguards and helmets on. Imagine it with all that. Imagine, take all the protective gear away. I would watch that. Everyone would watch that. Of course, the players would all be injured by the end of the first or second game, and no one will be able to field a team. But it'll be way more interesting. Just imagine the sheer fucking bloodbath. But that's rugby. Rugby is brutal. Scotland doesn't have the population for team sports, but Craig subbed your boy, Anik, you fucking monkey. He did actually. Ankalev's only loss in the UFC came from Paul Craig, and he got subbed. Paul Craig's good off his back, but Paul Craig, he's good on his back. He's got good grappling, but he's a journeyman. He's not going to be a champion, is he? He's a journeyman. Football's gone the way of systems over individuals, and that's because it works. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the era of elite coaching. That's what's happened to football. It's the era of elite coaching. Back in the day, there was obviously systems and formations, but Alex Ferguson, you bring back Alex Ferguson in his prime, he's not winning. He's not going to be winning Premier Leagues. He won't have an answer for he wouldn't have even been able to have an answer for Klopp. Pep Guardiola, Arne Slot, he wouldn't. Landon Donovan greater than Messi. Cheddarhead, don't be silly. Don't be silly now. Yeah, Slot played the Kids versus Plymouth in the FA Cup round 1. He just played the Bexley versus Spurs in the League Cup semis. Okay. Well, maybe we might take the League Cup. That'd be wicked. I think we've got I think we're like the historical winners of the League Cup, aren't we? We've won more than anyone else. Soccer in America is way too pro-LGBT lib focused to be successful. The Premier League's the same, mate. They make the fucking captain wear a rainbow's fucking armband. When you watch the coverage, there's always like an ex-women's player, like, as one of the pundits. And I got nothing against the women, of course, being a pundit, but at least be good at punditry first. And we got like the female commentators. There's so many women commentators, and I think there's only one good one. They're only getting it because they're women. It's like, it's all the same. I think it's the same. I think that's a global trend. Now, Celtic and Rangers dwarf the championship teams. Once they had the same level of finance, they start challenging for the top 5 in the Prem. Yeah, if they've got the same level of finance, yeah, of course they would. But that you can say that about every team. But in their current state, I'm not sure. I think they'd struggle in the championship. You got to remember, Brendan Rodgers was a complete and utter fucking flop in England. He did well with Liverpool because he had Luis Suarez. But if you actually look at the league where he did really well, he came second with Liverpool. Look at the fucking goals against. The only reason they were doing so well is because Luis Suarez was scoring more goals than they were letting in. Take away Luis Suarez and you would have finished 7th or 8th. But in Scotland, he's winning every single year with ease. Great Scottish accent. Thank you. God, I haven't done a Scottish accent for a long time. So is Eastern European like your Mexico? In what regard? Eastern European's a great place to go. It depends where, really. Because we got Prague. Prague completely escaped World War II. Because like most of Europe got flattened in World War II, but Prague was untouched. So all the architecture is legit. Like London's got its architecture, but even the old stuff was reconstructed. So it's like an imitation of what it once was. But Prague is genuine. That is legit. That is a legit historical city. Amazing place to visit. But the thing is about Prague is it's got legal prostitution. So brothels are legal there. So you get a lot of dickheads there. You get a lot of dickhead stag dudes there. But no, for the most part, I've been to Eastern European. Apart from like the city centres, which are fucking buzzing, they're really depressing. Like when you get on the airport and you land in the Czech Republic and you're on your way, because it's outside the city, and you're heading in your way to Prague, you see this Soviet swimming pool, all overgrown and stuff, and they're not knocking it down because that's where the fucking Soviets used to hang people. They sort of keep it as a shrine to the dead. And it's like there's loads of Soviet complexes around Eastern Europe, and it's depressing. It's like it gives you sort of a glimpse into Soviet communism. So you get to see a lot of that shit. And honestly, it's so depressing. It's like, fuck me. They lived like that. They did. Oh, man. All right. Okay. Play this 37 seconds. Play this 37 seconds. Okay. What's Gilly got for us? And I don't like giving him a view. Okay. This is a classic. Okay. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's muted.
It's shite. Doesn't it make you proud to be Scottish? It's shite being Scottish. We're the lowest of the low. The scum of the fucking earth. The most wretched, miserable, servile, pathetic trash that was ever shot into civilization. Some people hate the English. I don't. They're just wankers. We, on the other hand, are colonised by wankers. Can't even find a decent culture to be colonised by. We're ruled by a feet arseholes. It's a shite state of affairs to be in, Tommy, and all the fresh air in the world won't make any fucking difference.
That's a good clip. The thing is, though, Scotland's a fucking beautiful place. The fresh air will definitely do you good. Lies, 37 minutes. Yeah. Salah isn't actually that good of a footballer, and I'll down that hill. I agree with you, Jiggy, that he's not world class. He's the best in Europe now. Well, like I said, he's no Paul Gascoigne. He's no Messi or Ronaldo. He's no Mbappe. He's no Neymar. He's no Iniesta. You know what I mean? He's no Zinedine Zidane or Kaká. He's no Cruyff. You know what I mean? He's no Eric Cantona, Thierry Henry. He's just the best there is now. And the standards aren't as high as they used to be. Don't start me on Trent, bro. But he defo don't belong in midfield. He can't hang. Come on. Trent Alexander. If you were playing a system with two holding, so you'd normally have with two holding, you'd have an anchor man who closes down, and then you have your deep line playmaker. If he had McAllister next to him, he could definitely do that sort of Pirlo role. That sort of Pirlo, Paul Scholes kind of role. He could definitely pull that off because he's got the range and he's passing. Italy didn't qualify for back-to-back World Cups 18 and 22. Can they do it next year? Yeah, it's true. UFC is my favourite sport. Bodach. The sport is MMA, my friend. All right, Gilly. Fucking hell. I like MMA and I watch UFC. I don't watch Bellator and I don't watch... I don't watch one or anything. Did you watch any posh British sports like cricket? Nah, the cricket's not for me. It's too slow. And the thing is about cricket, there's too much opportunity for time wasting and stuff like that. So you get these test things that last days. And if you pick up a lead, there's too many ways to be an arsehole, you know? I'll get the roof burn tat. You get the roof burn tat. You're going to get that cat tattooed. It's a ceiling, not a roof. The fuck? I love the terminology. Yes, Leeds Rhinos. Yes. I like rugby until recently. Why? What changed? What changed, Naomi? American football is better than rugby. Just not. Just. Fuck, come on. Gotta watch college ball. I don't like American football. I don't understand it. First of all, I don't understand it. And second of all, it's like, from my perspective, like, football is a open, flowing game. And that's what I like about it. It's fluid. American football, they all stand around doing nothing. They all get themselves into position. Shout someone, 50-something. They all scramble and run around frantically for 10 seconds. They throw the ball and it's over. Play over. Then they stand around for another 5 minutes, organising themselves again. And they're just sort of edging forward and forward. And then something fucks up. Then the other team start edging forward. And then every now and again, there's a touch. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. Like, you know what I mean? Like basketball. I like basketball because that's similar to football. It's flowing. There's lots of movement. The ball's in play most of the time. You know? Basketball's good. Ice hockey. That's the kind of sport I like. Sports where it's like I don't like stop-start sports. I don't like the stopping and starting. Tennis, too much stop-starting. They do the rally, wicked, done. Then they stop for a minute or two until he starts serving again. American football, too stop-start. Baseball, cricket, it's too much stopping and starting. I'm like, get on with it. Like, do the sport. Yeah, your boy has been taking L's, Naomi. Oh, I'm so far behind. Wait, so we're at 1:45. I'm 15 minutes behind. Bodach, have you ever been in a break room while a co-worker microwaves their leftover? Yes, I have. Leftover fish curry. If you take that shit to work, you're a fucking cunt. You're a piece of shit cunt. As far as I'm concerned, it's as bad as not showering. Have a fucking shower and go to work not stinking of BO. That's a minimum expectation. And don't use the break room to heat up fucking stinky ass fucking food. I think you're confusing what else could Messi possibly accomplish with he's on his retirement tour. He's led Argentina to the 2022 World Cup win and can likely do the same next year. Yeah, but when there's nothing else to do, what would you do? You'd retire, right? At least you got a wooden spoon, Naomi. He also took Miami from 29th place bottom to number 1 in his first season here. I don't doubt it. Of course he did. It's fucking Messi. But he would have he's definitely lost pace. If he was still in the Barca team, it would be on show. I don't no doubt he's still a first team starter, but he's not the player he used to be. He'd get harassed and harried off the ball. Lane, that's just showing the GOAT is still doing GOAT things even on his retirement tour. The helmets and shoulder pads make it much more violent. Okay. That's how we get the insane brutal hits. You got crazy CTE problems, are in it? Like it's fucking them up. He ain't even close to slowing down. Yeah, he is. He was already slowing down before he went to the MLS. NFL players would die playing rugby league. Probably would. False Joey. Cheddarhead disagrees. Ferguson didn't like African players. Did he not? I don't give a fuck where they come from as long as they're good. Sup, Jensen. Ferguson had 2 black strikers, dude. He asks a good point, and when he bought Cole, he was the highest. He set the record. Yeah, that's a point, Jensen. Alex Ferguson at the time set a transfer record buying a black player. But do you remember Ron Atkinson's racist rant towards? Yeah, I do. Fucking hell. Desai, mate, he was good. Women pundits haram. I mean, there's been some good ones. It's not like they can't do it. It's just, it's like they've clearly got a problem that there's not enough of them that are good at it yet, but they still hire them because they're women. It's like, just wait for the standards to improve. Suarez could solo the Scottish World Cup. What's wrong with prostitution? Depends how it's employed, mate. What's wrong with prostitution? I mean, I wouldn't want my daughter doing it, but at the end of the day, if it's if the woman's willing. The problem with prostitution is most women are prostitutes. Most prostitutes are doing that due to certain circumstances that are harsh. Like how many women who are just mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, they don't have fucked up upbringings. How many of those go to prostitution? You know what I mean? That's the exception, not the rule. The rule is most prostitutes are there because they have to. They've got no choice. They might even be forced into it, or they're fucked in their head. They had an abusive childhood, or they're desperate. You know what I mean? How many well-adjusted normal women are doing a willfully going, you know what? I could go to college and get qualified, or I can just get a job and work my way up the ranks and become a manager. And you know, there's many paths to a decent income. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fuck a bunch of ugly, fat, sweaty men who can't get laid the normal way with a willing participant. Because you got to remember the clientele. It's not like they're getting young. It's not like they're getting nice studs of men with six packs and charming, lovely. They're getting the down and outs, men who can't get laid any other way. Think about it, mate. What do you mean? What's wrong with prostitution? Everything's wrong with it. The world's oldest profession, apparently. I would have thought it would be a farmer, but apparently women were selling themselves for sex before farmers were growing food for money. The world's oldest profession. What a thing to call it as well. His Scottish cards was revoked long ago. Brick. What's going on? Haha. Scotland is actually goated. Got 2 friends and an ex-girlfriend from there. Sick film scene as well. It is. Yeah, I fucking love Scotland. I'm hopefully going to move back there one day. The only reason I'm where I am now is because it's you know, being around Cambridge, close to London, it's so easy to find work. It doesn't matter what job you do. If you live around here, you can find a job. It's like where I live, it's just so easy. If you're anywhere near London, it's a piece of piss to find work. It's so easy to find work. Scotland, on the other hand, it's more challenging. Unless you live near Glasgow, or Edinburgh, or Dundee, or one of their cities, it's very difficult. So you can't go for that picturesque village life in Scotland, the dream, and also work in high-tech industries and stuff, because that industry doesn't exist up there. Not at the scale that it does around London and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm soon as I'm able to, I'm moving back to Scotland. Fucking amazing place. Great people as well. Plus, obviously, my family's from there, and I was born there. So for me, it's like going home. Damien Wren, but fucking, I'm so sorry, chat. You surprised me with chat. Just trying to trigger musical. Who's trying to trigger musical? If Trent could hang, then he'd be a midfielder. but he's not because he can't. Trent has openly said he has no interest in being a midfielder. He wants to play right back, and if he doesn't get his way, he'll leave to a club that will play him right back. He's a right back because he wants to be. If Trent wanted to be a midfielder, he'd be a midfielder, and he can definitely hang. Trent is one of the most overrated players alive. Yes, he can pass like a motherfucker, but that is literally it. Well, you say that, but by that, you would also be saying David Beckham was the most overrated player. It's like, yes, he can pass like a motherfucker. That's kind of the whole point. Football is a passing game. The fact that he can ping a ball like Beckham, while also being able to sprint. He's faster than Beckham was. He's more physical than Beckham was. He can actually take players on, and he does take players on from time to time. He can sprint and get to the wing and chip a ball. And these are things that Beckham could never do. He's got more to his game than David Beckham ever had. And David Beckham goes down as one of the greats. Trent Alexander is a phenomenal player. It's just, for some reason, he wants to play right back while not wanting to defend, which is really annoying. If he was in the midfield, he would play. I'm guarantee it. 1FC is amazing. LFA, CFFC, Cage Warriors, all great MMA promotions. The antidotes to your casualism. I'm not claiming to not be a casual, Gilly. I don't have the time, man. I don't have the time to invest in really, really diving deeper into the MMA sport. I just don't. I literally get the days where I'm not streaming. I get 2 nights a week where I'm not streaming. And the rest I give to my family and my girlfriend. So I get maybe about 8 to 10 hours a week where I can watch sport, play games, fuck around, and do whatever I want to do. The rest of my time is occupied by people more important than myself, you know? It's that middle-aged life, mate. The older you get, the more bigger your family grows, the less time you get to yourself to do things like watch all the different MMA promotions. I'd love to, but unfortunately, I just don't get that time. Open flowing game is another way to say 20 dudes jogging for 90 minutes. No, it's not. Chat ahead. Football is a free-flowing game, and one ball at any moment can put someone through on goal. Yeah, it's fucking boy. I'm so far behind. I don't know what you're referring to now. The one thing no one brings up is that soccer football has a clock that doesn't stop. The gay pausing in American football and basketball is for the non-heterosexual. Exactly. You got the time limits. Benefit to stop and starting again is that you get 100% full effort, full speed. But it's not about that though. You're going to run your play and that's it. You run your play and then you're done. In a football match, you might find yourself up against tactics that aren't working. You don't get to do a timeout and go talk to your coach. Okay, try this play instead. Your players actually have to adapt. The impetus is on the players being good to adapt. If you're in American football and it's not working out, your coach goes, okay, pull out the playbook, do this one instead, and then they try that. In football, they actually have to adjust and adapt in real time. And you get to see the genuine intelligence and capability of your players. Way better. Working in an office sounds like hell. It does. I work from home, thank God, but yeah. Hey, Bodach, how do you feel about Ronaldo? For me, Ronaldo, I love Ronaldo. When anyone says Messi or Ronaldo, I always say Ronaldo. I know Messi won the World Cup, and I know that his stats are slightly better than Ronaldo's. But for me, Ronaldo proved himself in Spain, England, and Italy. Messi can't really prove that. Messi hasn't got the same. It's very close. I mean, I think if you think Ronaldo or Messi are the best, you're not wrong. It's a preference. It gets to a point where they're so close that it's down to personal preference who you think's the best. I don't think you can really be objective about it. Because when people think Messi is the best, I can't disagree with them. But for me, I think it's Ronaldo. He's proven in the top 3 leagues in the world. And these are not just 3 leagues, they're 3 leagues with completely different personalities and cultures. And like Mohamed Salah, for example, he thrives in the Premier League, but he was a flop in a different league. And it's a very common thing to see footballers flop in one league, move to another, and then become fucking amazing players because the personality suits their way of play. Ronaldo went to each 3 leagues and adapted to it and was the best player in each of the leagues. Well, maybe not the best player in Spain because of Messi, but he was the 2nd best player in Spain, the best in Italy, the best in England. It's proven more. And unfortunately, he's Portuguese, so he didn't have a squad like Argentina's to win more tournaments. But he did drag Portugal to a Euros win. Messi doesn't drag Argentina by the scruff of the neck and carry the team. He's the best player, but he doesn't carry the team. Ronaldo carried Portugal his entire career, and they won a Euros. So yeah, for me, Ronaldo. I think if he was in the Spanish league and only the Spanish league for most of his career, like Messi, he'd probably have higher stats. Messi is the GOAT for the last World Cup, but he ain't doing it again at 39 years old. True. Father Time catches up with everyone. Football was named after homeless Brazilians. Was it? I'm pretty sure when the British were inventing the sport, they weren't going, fucking hell. Look at those Brazilians over there that have never heard of this sport. Playing in their bare feet, we'll call it football. Oh God, I actually need to go soon, so I need to catch up. Guys, I've been renovating an attic lately. Fucking sucks. I know. Yeah, Weston, I hate working indoors. An American calling football American football don't sit right. I don't know why you even call your sport football. It's hand egg. It should be called hand egg. It's in your hand all the time. And it's not even round. It's an egg. I'd much rather do something in the garden than in the house. Ah, mate, I'm a complete gear. I'm a techie. I'm surrounded by computer screens and it's my happy place. Prostitution low-key rules. I don't know about that, Hustle and Bones. When I hear, I just feel sorry for prostitutes because most of the time they're there for unfortunate circumstances. What day is a quiz next week? Looking forward to it. Adam P, quiz nights every Thursday. Every Thursday, all the time. And before each UFC pay-per-view, we do a UFC guest. We do a UFC quiz, preferably with a panel. We've managed to have a panel each time. I'm going to hopefully keep that going. I want to get a panel for every quiz, to be honest. Now that the channel seems to be growing a little bit, we should I should start chasing more guests. Because when you've got a channel that's like only got 100 odd subs, you feel like a little bit of a lemon. Like, oh, will you come on my podcast, please? Please, sir, give me some attention. But now that I've actually got like a couple of hundred, nearly at 300, I feel like, yeah. David Beckham wasn't a defender, was he? No, he was a midfielder. And this is what I'm saying. Trent Alexander should be a midfielder, but it's Trent's decision. This isn't some thing where they keep playing him at right back. He demands to be a right back. He demands it. Klopp said he won't play midfield. Does Pib have male pattern baldness? Well, the end the poll. 96% say he does. I don't know who Pib is, by the way. If you're out there, I'm sorry. No Chill asked me to do that, so I did it. Beckham's work rate and physicality were one of his best attributes. I heard a really interesting fact about his coverage. David Beckham very rarely took people on. But yeah, I heard this. He had freakish running stats, the distance he covered. Saying Trent was more physical than Beckham is a crazy casual take. It's not a casual take. He's a much bigger guy. He's a defender for a start. So he has to be more physical. Beckham covered the distance. Beckham's distance was phenomenal. Like, the leg work he put in was phenomenal. But Trent Alexander is definitely the more physical player. He's more physical than David Beckham ever was. Beckham thrived with space. Trent Alexander, at the end of the day, he is a defender, and he does have to get shoulder to shoulder with people. And he plays in a position where he doesn't get as much space. He's closed down. He's in the age of the press as well. Beckham played before the age of the press. When Beckham played, when you lost possession in the transition, you tended to drop back into a defensive formation. These days, you don't do that. So Beckham had the luxury of playing in a time where you got given a lot more space on the ball. Trent Alexander's never had that, so he's definitely got more physicality than David Beckham. Bodach, is your girl not an MMA fan? She's watched it. The problem is she feels sorry for the one that loses. She feels sorry. Like, I keep trying to make it like, listen, they're savages, they're athletes, they're killers. But yeah, whoever, when they get knocked out and stuff, she feels sorry for them, so she doesn't like watching it. All football aside, Trent is a filthy rat. Flagrant ass to Madrid ACP. Fuck it. Yeah, if he leaves, yeah, I'll agree with that. He can 69 with Bellingham in the boardroom and be happy. Yeah, I don't like the way he's holding the club ransom. Because I'll sing Trent's praises, but he's not having all the praise I've thrown on Trent. He is not a 300 grand a week player. If that's what he wants, fuck him. Go away. There's much better right backs you can give 300 grand a week to. You know what I mean? He should be on 150. And even that's like stupid money, but that's just the way the game is now. Hustle, Trent and Jude defo have a gay thing going on, probably. Trent sounds like a scumbag. He is a scumbag in some ways. If he doesn't do the contract, he's a scumbag. Goes on about how he wants to be a Liverpool legend. He wants to be iconic and go down as one of the Liverpool greats. Gets to the end of his contract. I want 300 grand, please. Give me 300 grand. What do you mean? You want to be playing midfield? I'm a right back. Nah, fuck him. Play where you're fucking told. If you're about the club, you should know Liverpool aren't the club that throw that kind of money around. We're not a fucking PSG. We're not a Barcelona or Madrid. We're not a Man City. Liverpool isn't a plastic club. It functions as a business. And only the best of the best of the best get that kind of money at Liverpool. You play for Liverpool because you want to play for Liverpool, because it's illustrious, not because they throw money at you. And if that's what Trent wants, fuck him. Lane, what grammar? Are you just so enamoured of my flawless grammar game? I don't know. Giuliano is a 4th degree Dan Freemason. Ooh, it's a 4th degree Dan Freemason. I think you meant 5th Dan. It's a 5th Dan Freemason. Bodach, that Messi Ronaldo comparison was almost as bad as the Trent Beckham comparison. It wasn't, Jiggy. You tell me I'm wrong. Ronaldo's proven in more leagues. I'm sorry. For me, that makes him the GOAT. Messi a second. Very, very close. It's crazy that the Ronaldo and Messi era is over. It is. It's sad as well. Because there's no one else. Anyway, that was knowledgeable fisticuffs. I'm back in a sec. Oh, it still tingles, Jasper. Come on. Dog, I'm not back. Ah, God, I'm so far behind. Oh, I'm catching up. I'm 5 minutes behind. I was 20 minutes behind earlier. I'm getting my second teapot next Thursday. Fight and talk, Gilly, as long as Cheddarhead doesn't get it, because he's insufferable. Usually, I'm looking at the next week's card. Holy fuck. The odds are all over the place. Bodach, my show is great. Thank you very much, Uselys. I'm on the panel as last week's champion. Like I said, I really want to get more people on the quiz. I want to get more people on in general. Thursday night's the day. Because on Sunday and Tuesday, I'd rather just jump on, spam memes in your face and chat shit and then bugger off. But on Thursday, for me, Thursday, it all leads to Thursday. All roads lead to Thursday. I'm going to, I need to create a visual as well. So when I'm on stream and stuff, I want to start counting the teapots. We'll have a goated list. Tua has been on camera, you know. Yeah. I don't think I appreciate Aaron Tat's coming on. He's an absolute legend. He comes on at last minute after not being able to get a full guest lineup. But it's so much better when there's cameras. Way better with cameras. Stop arguing about grammar. Ask Frankie, the English teacher. Is Frankie an English teacher? Because I don't know why that makes me smile. Because he's a bit of a geezer, isn't he? It's not right. He's a bit of a geezer, isn't he? Like the way he talks. Imagine him approaching his English lesson like, I can't even do it. I'm gonna work on a Frankie impression. I'm gonna work on one. I think I could do a Frankie impression. It's got that sort of London Cockney twang, like the Essex boy twang. Yeah, I've got to do a Frankie impression. Giuliani Argenti, you said you from Malta. I challenge that notion. I think you just like where all the James Bond movies were filmed. Malta? That's a country. Well, he's not. He said he's Italian. I'm almost offended at the delusion of that Beckham trend take. It's not delusion, mate. It's not delusion. Right, hang on. Hang on. I'm getting. This is. Here we go. Okay, so Trent Alexander-Arnold. So David Beckham edges it for minutes per goal. So David Beckham scored every 459 minutes, but he was a midfielder. Minutes per assist for David Beckham, 292. So every 292 minutes, David Beckham put in an assist as a midfielder. As a defender, Trent Alexander puts an assist every 285 minutes. So that's an assist almost 10 minutes earlier than Beckham. I mean, what more can you say? Trent Alexander's clocking as a defender. He's pulling in an assist more often than David Beckham did. Let's have a look at this one. I'm just trying to look at the distance covered. Hang on. Yes. Right. Beckham average KM per match. David Beckham's not an average. I already know this. It's about 11. So an average. No. Trent Alexander, 26 kilometers an hour. Can't bloody find it. Why is David Beckham's fucking statistics so hard to track down? So Trent Alexander's goal his goal contributions are better than David Beckham's, but David Beckham covered more distance. So David Beckham had more physicality when it came to running. He covered more. Mate, David Beckham's statistics are so hard to find when it comes to like tackling and stuff. I can't find it. Fucking hell, come on. I'll ask Grok. I'm gonna ask Grok. Do some Googling for me, Grok. What were David Beckham's average tackles per match? So Trent Alexander puts in 2.4 tackles per 90 minutes. And even Grok's not coming up with it. David Beckham recorded a total of 171 tackles across 265 matches. It's making me do the math my fucking self, man. So no, hang on. 265. Stop fucking time. 265 divided by 171. So David Beckham put in 1.5 tackles per match. Trent Alexander puts in 2.4 tackles per match. How can you suggest that that's not superior physicality? You have to put a tackle in to be physical. So David Beckham covered more distance. So that's 1 point for his physicality. Trent Alexander puts in more tackles than David Beckham. So that's a point for his physicality. And David Beckham scores more goals than Trent. So that's +1 to him. And then Trent Alexander is involved in way more assists than David Beckham. So I stand by what I said. Trent Alexander-Arnold can be considered one of the great players of the world because he has statistics that line up to other players like David Beckham, who were also considered one of the greats. Beckham played in a much more physical era. Exactly! That's another point for Beckham. He played in a more physical era when it came to the nature of the tackles, but he also played in an era where the tactic for transitions wasn't to press. The modern game has the press. David Beckham didn't face as much of a press as Trent Alexander-Arnold. Back in the day, during the transition, you regressed into a defensive formation. That's what you did. That's what everyone did. That was how you played football during David Beckham's era. In the transition now, in Trent Alexander's era, you don't drop back into a defensive position. You press. So it's harder for Trent than it was for Beckham. Beckham got a lot more time on the ball than Trent Alexander did. And he's still racking up the assists at a higher pace than Beckham from a deeper position than Beckham while being pressed. I'm sorry. That's a level of physicality that puts him up there with one of the best. I know you don't like it, but that's how I see it. Yeah, sign. Who's Pin? Pib. Mr. Pib. Pin is a scumbag. I don't know who Mr. Pib is. That's Mr. Pib to you. Who is this Mr. Pib? That's your worst take ever, Bodach. I'm also a football coach. I have insight. Ideally, I'd have Trent Alexander and Beckham in their heyday in my team. If I was picking a team right now and I could have any team I want, if I was putting the cheat code in FIFA or Football Manager or whatever it is, Trent Alexander-Arnold would be my right back. I think they're talking about the notorious troll Pib. Ah, fair enough. I still don't know who that is. Do not know. Is Mr. Pib not a troll? I was asked to put the poll up, so I did. If No Chill wanted to know the results. Beckham height 1.83, Trent 1.75. So yeah, okay. Beckham's taller. Oh shit, really? 183? No, fuck off, hang on. I thought Beckham was taller than that. Come on. Fucking browser went wet. He's 6 foot. Okay. I thought Beckham was taller than that. I thought Beckham was like 6'2" or something. I want you to take that back, Bodach. No! I refuse! For me, Ronaldo's the best. Very, 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 very closely followed by Messi, but only because Ronaldo's proven in more leagues, more world-class leagues. The 3 top footballing leagues on the face of the earth. Ronaldo's proven in all 3 of them. Messi's only proven in 1. Messi won the World Cup, of course. That closes the gap, but Ronaldo played for Portugal, dragged Portugal to a Euros victory. That cancels that out. What Ronaldo did in the Euros was a much harder feat than what Messi did. And then Trent Alexander, I'm sorry. I'm like, by today's standards, Trent Alexander's, he's one of the best right backs in the world. And he would make one of the best midfielders. Bodach, read all my points. I did read them all. I'm not going to doubt Beckham's distance. He covered the pitch, man. He did some running, and he was a tall lad. I don't doubt it. I'm saying that Trent Alexander's physicality is comparable to Beckham. Goals and assists wasn't your argument. It was about work rate and physicality. Exactly, physicality. Trent's putting in more tackles. You're not putting in more tackles without physicality. You can't. Tackles requires physicality, and Trent puts in more than double the tackles, and he's a defender. Literally, Trent's weak point versus Beckham's strength. What do you mean, Jigs? Trent got beat by just Doku more times than any other defender in the Premier, being beat by an entire opposing team. Yeah, Doku, he's a fucking menace, isn't he? He did terrorize Trent, to be fair. Stop acknowledging Jigsaw for the amusement of myself and Matura. I'm not gonna. I'll always acknowledge Jiggy. He's one of the OGs. Jiggy, I think it's just a Bodach stream glitch. My views on Trent is a Bodach stream glitch. I don't care. Trent is one of the best players playing at the moment. He is, and he's physical. He is a physical guy. Mature, shut up, you young prick. Musical, that's why they call him Glitchdak. Glitchdak the kid. Shut up, Gilly. Where's your kids at? Oh, sorry, that's a different guy. They don't track stats as much back then. You statnons. Stats are important, Jiggy. But yeah, true. It's really difficult to find Beckham's stats. You literally have to work it out yourself. He played this many matches and made this many tackles. Bodach, stop being a stat nonce. Never. Never. I will never stop being a stat nonce. They don't track all the running stats back then like they do now. No, David Beckham, he covered some fucking distance, mate. They've got that stat. David Beckham, right? Let me get you this. Yeah, this is what I'm looking now. David Beckham's distance covered would actually compete with football of today. So the average distance covered now is 11 kilometers. Hang on, average distance in out. So the average is 11 kilometers now. So they're literally doing 11K. In the 1970s, the average player ran 4 kilometers. That's insane. What was it in the 90s? So yeah, Basically, the average distance covered has been growing every year, and it's still growing. It's an upward trend. David Beckham's distance covered was way ahead of its time and would actually compare to the average distance covered today. Oh, it's actually 10.6. 10.6 kilometers is the average per match. David Beckham would actually be able to compete with the physicality of today's game. So yeah, in terms of his running, mate, he was a fucking phenom. That's insane. That is like fucking hell. I knew Beckham was good, but fucking hell. He was covering he was covering distance back when the game didn't even need it. It wasn't common to be running 10.5 kilometers. But like, thoughts on Jigsaw's allegations that you are, in fact, a stat nonce. I resent the derogatory term, but yeah, I like my stats. I do like my stats. If you look how they both play, any retard would tell you Beckham is a much more physical player. How can you call Beckham a physical player? He relied on space. It wasn't like Beckham was like charging through crowds of people, taking people on shoulder to shoulder. He was either dropping back into the space so he can ping a long ball, or he was overlapping to put the cross in. And when he went to Real Madrid, he wasn't able to. Oh, he was a fucking player at Real Madrid. He wasn't able to play at right midfield for Real Madrid because who did they fucking have back then? When he went to Real Madrid, he developed into a more central player, dropping back, and he did that sort of Pirlo role. His entire game revolved around finding space and pinging the long ball. And you're comparing the physicality of a role like that to a defender, where physicality literally becomes hand in hand, which is seen in his tackles per minute, his tackles per match. Trent's is higher. The one thing Beckham's got over Trent Alexander is his average distance covered. He did a lot more running than Trent Alexander-Arnold. But the tackle argument is a retarded yank way to argue. It's not. How can it possibly be a retarded yank way to argue? You have to be physical to be putting the tackles in. Jigsaw, I apologise. I didn't mean to rhyme your name with Dickjaw. Fuck's sake. Your name rhymes better with Rickshaw. Gilly, are you getting paid by YouTube for DEI inclusivity stats? You're right, obviously the stats are irrelevant in that case. What do you mean? Jigsaw, do you accept Batua's apology? I don't give a fuck about Beckham, bro. Trent's still overrated. I don't disagree that he's overrated. And the wages that he's trying to ask for, he doesn't deserve them. Calling Beckham a winger is sacrilegious. I wouldn't call him a winger. He wasn't a winger for Madrid. He played on the right for Man United, and then when he went to Madrid, who the fuck was that player? Who was it? Beckham's real squad. Who was it? Fuck's sake, who was it? Because Real Madrid bought Beckham, and he didn't get to carry on where he played for United. Fuck! Who was it? Fuck's sake, why don't Real Beckham's fucking squad? Figo, of course. Fuck's sake, it was Figo. So Figo had the position that Beckham was used to playing at United. So at Real Madrid, he transitioned into a midfielder, into a more central role. Bodach, are you getting paid by YouTube to include Trent for more inclusivity? Yes, and they better fucking pay, mate. They better fucking pay. Yeah, Figo. So that's when Beckham transitioned into a more central player. Nobody presses Liverpool. Everyone presses Liverpool. Nothing you just said has to do with physicality. Of course it does. I never claimed that Trent was better than Beckham. I said he compares to Beckham. And he does. Tell me how putting in more tackles isn't a point in the physicality section. It just is. You have to be physical to be a defender. Trent plays against a low block 90% of the time. Yeah, maybe he definitely gets closed down a lot more than Beckham did. When Beckham played, they dropped deep to defend the cross or to defend the long ball. They knew it was coming and they dropped back to defend it. With Trent, he gets pressed. I'm cooking him on every point, but he's too far behind in chat. You're not cooking me, Jiggy. Stop being silly. And Trent ain't even press resistant. Well, yeah, because he passes more. It's much more. The game's much more. It's got way more triangles now. The game's completely different. I'm telling you. Beckham's physicality. Hang on. I'm just going to Google it. The fact is that Real Madrid were literally unsure of David Beckham's signing due to his lack of physicality. Just trying to find some bloody things. Why is it? You'd expect David Beckham to have a lot more in-depth breakdowns, wouldn't you? And every time I ask Grok, it's like, gives you the citations. Hang on. Why the fuck? Right, I'm getting AI to do a deep search for me. All right. David Beckham in his prime stood around 6 feet tall, weighed approximately 170 pounds. He was known for a lean, wired physique with a focus on endurance and agility rather than brute strength. His game relied heavily on technical skill, which is exactly what I'm saying. Those pinpoint crosses and free kicks rather than overpowering opponents physically. Beckham's stamina was elite, which I've already said. He could run all day. He covered the distance of a modern player back in the 90s. Covering the right flank for Manchester United and England. His body fat was low, likely in the single digits during two peak seasons, giving him that defined, almost model-like look. Trent Alexander currently is listed at 5'9", 100 weighs around 155 pounds. He's shorter and lighter than Beckham with a more compact, stocky build. Trent's physicality leans towards agility and quick bursts rather than long-distance running. His lower centre of gravity aids his dribbling and ability to shift direction fast, which suits his role as a modern attacking right-back for Liverpool. He's muscular, particularly in the legs, reflecting the power behind his passing and crossing skills that echo Beckham's, but with a different delivery style. Athletically, Beckham had a slight edge in endurance, clocking higher distances per game, often over 10 kilometres. typical of the box-to-box demands of this era. Trent, though, excels in explosiveness and recovery speed, averaging more sprints per match, which aligns with the high pressing systems under Jurgen Klopp even. Data from recent Premier League seasons shows Trent's sprint stats hovering around 20 to 25 per game, while Beckham's peak would have been lower due to the tactical differences in the 90s and early 2000s. Exactly what I've been saying. Visually, Beckham's frame was larger and leaner, giving him a more elegant stride. Trent's shorter, thicker build makes him look sturdier, especially when shielding the ball. Neither is a physical beast. Neither player is a physical beast. We are arguing about the physicality of two players that are literally not known for their physicality, like a centre-back, but Trent might edge out in raw strength, while Beckham had the advantage in sustained aerobic output. If you want specifics like body fat, no. There we go. I'll go with that. That's basically saying what I've been saying. So yeah, I don't think I'm getting cooked, Jiggy. I think I'm making a perfectly fair and rational point. Bodach, what about Ronaldinho? Ronaldinho is a tragedy. At his peak, he was phenomenal, but he wasn't consistent enough. And his career was quite short, wasn't it? His prime peak years were short. Zidane, he's a fucking player. Bodach, have you visited Portugal to lick the statue of Ronaldo? No, I have not. Why would I lick it? True, Hustle. Trent is shit when he actually gets pressed on the very rare occasion. He's always fucking pressed. I need more piano meat. Shit, Bodach is made of asphalt. I'm not made of cotton wool. You're trying to pretend that David Beckham didn't get pressed. David Beckham didn't get pressed. He played in a different time. He had so much time on the ball, Beckham. Zinedine revolutionized the game of soccer. He really did. He's in that era with like Kaka as well and stuff like that, and Thierry Henry. Yeah, he definitely changed the game. I never said Trent wasn't good on the ball, but physicality is literally his biggest weakness. Physicality was also David Beckham's biggest weakness too. My original point is that I think if Trent Alexander-Arnold transitioned into a midfield role, he would be comparable to David Beckham. And he would be, because he's got that range of passing, and he has the physicality to take in a midfield role. But sometimes the eye test is more important than stats. They can be very misleading. I don't deny the stats can be misleading. Zidane's my favourite player of all time. Really, my favourite player of all time is Paul Gascoigne. Just for the story of it. He's a tragedy. Like, that man's career is just a tragedy. Most stats are literally fake anyway. I don't know what's worse, XG and footy or 6 strikes in an MMA. I don't know, mate. I mean, stats have a place. They don't account for the match-by-match performances, of course, but it gives you an idea of how well someone's playing. Like, if you've got two players, right, and one looks good, but the stats, let's say you're going to get a defender, and one looks good, but he's putting in 3 or 4 tackles a match, and the other one looks shit, but he's putting in 20 tackles a match. Which one are you going to go and buy? It jogged 4 kilometers. What are you about? I don't like XG though. I don't even understand what the fuck XG even is. How do they work that out? In the 70s, the average player pounded 4 beers during the halftime break. I know. Happy days. They were the good days. You know damn well soccer ain't physical. Well, it's not as physical as other sports. Messi has played in 3 Premier Leagues as well. Only way Ronaldo has an edge in number of goals. No, you can't compare where Messi's been. Messi's been in one. Messi has played in one genuinely elite competitive league. PSG doesn't count. 3/4 of the team PSG play against would struggle in the English second division. Right, Ronaldo's played in England, Italy, and Spain. They are, without any shadow of a doubt, the 3 most competitive elite footballing leagues on the face of the earth. It's just fact. And Ronaldo's proven in all of them. Messi has only been in the Spanish league. When you play for PSG, you're not facing elite competition week in, week out. Messi was only facing elite competition week in, week out when he was in the Spanish league. Ronaldo's done it in 3 different leagues with 3 completely different cultures and personalities. Thank you. Thank you. Finally, you agree. I'm taking that as a W. All right, Jiggy, you take the W. I'll take the L. I'll take the L. I don't mind taking an L, considering I haven't really watched football since lockdown. I've only just got back into it this season. You take it, Jigs. You take that W on me. How has this been 45 minutes of Beckham Trent debate? I don't know. I just think Trent would make a good midfielder. Not right midfielder. The role Beckham played for Madrid, that role. I don't think Trent would make a good. I mean, he probably would make a good right winger, considering that he does put in a lot of sprints, and he's already doing the sprinting. But I just think that range of passing next to McAllister in midfield, that would free up Szoboszlai and Gakpo and the likes to push forward. And when you've got fucking hell, you got Salah and that on the wing, mate, that would be so fucking potent. That would be really potent. You know what I mean? Trent, you know, you got McAllister closing down, and you got Trent looking for space to then put them balls through with a front three with pace. Woo! I'm telling you, mate. I'm telling you, that'd be a potent lineup. I can't argue with someone who only goes by stats. You got to think about stats. There's nothing wrong with stats. Because Trent relies on space. You need the space to put those kind of balls through. And so did Beckham. Beckham also relied on space. That's why I'm literally comparing Trent to Beckham for that exact reason. They both put in those worldy passes, pinpoint accuracy, phenomenal passing, and they both rely on space to play the game. Both Beckham and Trent Alexander need protecting in order to do what they're best at. That's why I'm making the comparison. Bodach, you need to go straight to bed after this. Yeah, I know. Is Ronaldo the GOAT? He is for me. I know a lot of people pick Messi. For me, it's Ronaldo. But I said before, when I hear people go, yeah, I think it's Messi, I don't feel the need to argue with them. I say what I think and why, but if you think it's Messi, I can't argue with you. Address my point about the fact Trent plays against a low block 90% of the time. He never gets pressed and struggles when he does get pressed. I don't think he does, Jigs. I think he's known. Trent has reached the point in his career where they know what he can do, and he does get pressed. Figo. So I was looking it up. I should have just read chat. It was Figo. Yeah. Beckham played the bulk of his career as a winger. What, even at Madrid? Soccer is gay. Oh man, don't be like that. Bodach, you're exposing your lack of knowledge here. No wonder the FA is so good. I stand by everything I said. I'm sorry, but I have to go live in 2 minutes. Love you, Bodach. See you Thursday to slay the quiz and collect my second teapot. I want cheddar heads, fat ass there. to show there's no changing of the guard. To show there's a change in the guard. Cheers, Gilly. I'll see you then. Stats only useful with context. Defending stats of a defender versus a winger is asinine. Yeah, true. But I'm using the stat to prove that Trent has physicality. And he puts in a lot more sprints than Beckham ever did. That's physicality. How can you deny Trent has physicality? Beckham's dad can beat up Trent's dad. I don't know if that... Probably true. I mean, Trent's only short, so his dad's probably short. Beckham's a strapping tall lad. I'm guessing his dad's bigger. Everyone presses Liverpool. I'm done now, I've won. Well, they fucking do. It's the only way you can compete with them. Do you watch Liverpool matches? I've been watching them all season. They're always getting pressed. No, you don't, Bodach. Many of the best tacklers in the game are not physical players. Fullbacks especially. It's not an argument. I don't know about that, Hustle Bones. How'd you put a tackle in without being physical? All your points are retarded here, Bodach. I'm sorry. I disagree. Google can't save you, Bodach. Well, I think it did. It did, though. You are indeed winning. Cheers. No way. No way, Gilly. Physicality has nothing to do with why he initially struggled at Madrid. It was because he couldn't get in ahead of Figo on a wing, so had to adapt to a new position. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't talking about his physicality not getting him in that position. I can't even remember the point I was making with Figo. I just told you, I was just saying that I think that the role he played at Madrid is a role that I think Trent Alexander could play. Stop being an AI What is going on here? Giving him that model-like look. Bodach on David Beckham's body. Nah, I was just reading the thing off the thing I googled. Beckham was known for physicality and work rate. He was known for his work rate. Google will save me again. Save me, Google. Save me. Doesn't mention physicality. He was known for his precise free kicks, crossing ability, range of passing. Hang on. I'm asking the wrong question. Fucking hell. Why is it so hard to find things about David Beckham? Right. What was David Beckham's weaknesses? It's the stuff about his fucking OCD. I don't give a shit about his fucking mental health. Fucking hell. Playing weaknesses. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Give me some fucking stuff. Give me something I can see. Mate, when someone's this fucking famous, you gotta get real fucking specific. Fucking hell. It's all about his fucking personal life, about his fucking mental health and OCD and all that. Jesus fucking Christ. The cult of personality. What were his fucking playing weaknesses? What were David Beckham's playing weaknesses? And he's like, well, David Beckham struggled with OCD. Like, what the fuck? Fucking hell. Right, there we go. That pretty much fucking proves all my points wrong, Jiggy. Some of his areas of physical weakness, he had a lack of pace, limited agility, he lacked in physical strength, his defensive work rate, and his reliance on his 1 foot. David Beckham's known weaknesses were his physicality. There we go. Settled. Fuck me. I knew I wasn't just fucking making it up. He was, I don't know where you're getting this idea that he was known for his physicality, because he wasn't. When you go and look up David Beckham's weaknesses, they're all his physicality attributes. He relied on being protected, he relied on space, and he had a wicked long ball, and he was amazing at passing and taking free kicks. He was known for being slow and weak. There we go. Settled, Jiggy. Sorry, mate. I'm taking your win back. I'm taking your wing back. I refuse to accept my L. The point you were making is literally the opposite. Physicality was David Beckham's biggest weakness. Physicality was not David Beckham's. Big fuck's sake. I'm sorry, Jigs, but it was. I know that was a knock on my BMI, Gilly. Oh, come on. I do need to go soon. Gilly, I'm so excited that you joined your live stream. Bodach, you've literally gish galloping here. I'm done now. Sorry, chat. Maybe that defender looked good and puts in less tackles for the same reason. His marking is top tier, so he doesn't have to lunge in. Ushers play like a great defender should. Yeah, I'm not going to say Trent Alexander's marking's crap, but that's why I'm saying he should be in midfield, because he's a crap defender. Usual, get a pull-up bar. 30 quid. They are very cheap. Hustle and Liverpool dominate the ball. Hang on. Why are we debating physicalities of retired players when the real question is Messi or Ronaldo? Ronaldo! Paul Gascoigne is remembered more for the sandwich offering now. Oh, yeah. Fucking the guy who was going on a killing spree, and Paul Gascoigne turns up to the scene to try and broke a piece. That was so surreal. Paul Gascoigne grew up in a time where the media got to him. He didn't have the discipline, man, but it's a tragic story. But Paul Gascoigne is my favourite footballing story. He was so talented. He was so good. He did everything. He dribbled past people with ease. He could score goals. He could defend. He was the complete player. He really was a complete player. And the media destroyed his mental health and his life and sent him down. Oh, man, what a fucking tragic story. Can you rename this stream I Am a Trent Nons? No. The space thing was a counterpoint to your point, fuck's sake. You're behind on the arguments. You two shouldn't really be comparing a defender to a midfielder. It's dumb. Yeah, I agree. Bodie needs ketamine therapy. Bodach's not going to sleep tonight because of this. I'm going to sleep fine. I agree with myself. I think I'm right. I deny Trent's physicality. Messi played La Liga. And MLS. The MLS is a retirement league. And the UEFA Champions League is a side league for... The Champions League is a side league that all champions play in. You'd be playing in the Champions League whether or not if it was in Italy or England or whatever. If you was in a top 4 team in any of the big leagues, you play in the Champions League. You know, Ronaldo also played in all those leagues. Ronaldo was in the Champions League and he also won a bunch of them. Just because a footballer doesn't make him a physical player. If a footballer, just because a footballer sprints doesn't make him a physical player. What is it about David Beckham's game makes you think that he had physicality? Because I've just pulled it up, Jiggy, and it's literally what... Go and look up what David Beckham's playing weaknesses are, and you can get an expert opinion that it's unanimous. It's unanimous. It's his physicality. He's not known for his physicality. He's known for having weak physicality. It was one of the things that held him back. I should have just Googled this in the first place and spared the hour-long debate, but sorry, Jigs. David Beckham is known for being weakly physical. His physicality was lacking compared to other players of his generation. He's known for a lack of it, not for a lot of it. So your point is wrong. So I'm taking that W back. If Ronaldo had a World Cup, I'd agree. Yes, but Lane, Messi won the World Cup as part of an illustrious team full of amazing players. Ronaldo single-handedly dragged Portugal to a Euros win. That is a much, much more, what's the word? It's more impressive. It's way more impressive what Ronaldo did with Portugal. It just is. You literally said his physicality was the reason he struggled at Madrid. No, he struggled at Madrid because he couldn't play in the position and he had to adjust. And if you go and look back at this, when you look back at when they bought Madrid, they questioned whether or not he would have the physicality to even do this thing. His physicality was always actually in question. The more I'm Googling it as we debate, Jiggy, the more I'm finding stuff that says people always questioned his physicality. He's actually famous for it now. That's what he's actually... He became a great player despite his lacking physicality. That's what David Beckham's famous for. And he struggled in the youth system. I'm reading here. He literally struggled in the youth system because of the lack of physicality. Trent's a strapping young muscular buck. Bodach on his physical attraction to soccer players. I was just reading the thing. Trent is more physical than David Beckham. But they both rely on space and they both need protected in order to play their best. Beckham needed space and so does Trent. Bodach, stop Googling. Why would I stop Googling? It's proving my point. Knew I could count on you for the correction, Joe. Thanks. Joe, fucking up. Right, I think I'm nearly done. Beckham heard how obsessed you are with him physically and IP blocked you. I doubt it. The fact you're trying to Google Beckham's weaknesses means you already lost. No, it's not, Jiggy. Because when I did that, it proved my point. Use your own brain. Use your own brain. Jiggy, I'm sorry that my Googling fact-checked it. David Beckham was not renowned for his physicality. I'm sorry. Beckham, no known weaknesses. Bodach has AI rot. Bodach, no known weaknesses. He does. I saw Beckham once at an In-N-Out burger. Of course you saw him at a place of food, Cheddarhead. Who knew your Trent was Vinny's Islam? Who knew your Trent was Vinny's Islam? I don't know. I'm not like I'm glazing fucking Trent. I'm comparing him to Beckham, and I think Trent could play a similar role to what Beckham did. I don't think anyone has disproven my point. I don't think any of this has disproven that Trent has the attributes to play a similar role to what Beckham did. And I think it's stupid that he's a right back because he's crap in that position. That was my point. I've never claimed that he was a good right back. I think he should be a midfielder. Bodach, it's mental how you got to that. I've just lost behind that. Bodach, you're passively crashing out and floundering. And since we're friends now, I have to recommend an acid trip or at least a hardwired tech detox. What are you on about, Gilly? How can you claim that based on that Google search? Well, it's more than one research. It's more than one result, mate. You're asking me not to do research on it. I haven't seen David Beckham since 2018. I don't know. Ralmo. That was... But this is Vinny levels of gish galloping. I'm just trying to keep up with chat. I can't even remember now. Joe, put the Google down slowly. put the Google down and step away slowly. I'm sorry about the Googling. It's proving my point. Can't acid like completely change your mindset? You can do it with shrooms, can't you? Like, if you take shrooms, it does it. But you're retarded on this one. I'm sorry. Oh, I disagree, Jigs. Watch Beckham versus Greece. Beckham in Man U's treble win in the Champions League. Saying his physicality was a weakness is a joke. It was his weakness, though, wasn't it? Sorry, I know you hate the Google. Imagine, like, telling people not to read things. It's really easy to find articles about his lack in physicality. I'm sorry. Watch David Beckham. Yeah, Davey Beckham had more success in modelling than on the field. I think he made more money out of football than he did in football. They didn't question if his physicality was up to scratch in La Liga. He did it in the most physical league, you dullard. You dropped the D word. I'm telling you, I'm not wrong. His physicality was always in question. He didn't do what other players did. They thought people actually, when he joined Real Madrid, they thought all he did was play long balls. Why would they think things like that? People question Beckham's physicality in an era of Roy Keane, big mean midfield motherfuckers. That's true. That's a fair point, Hustle. People question Trent physically in a way pussy era. I don't know. Beckham was never known for his physicality, and no one ever said he was. The argument you made is that Trent is more physical than him. Asinine comparison, but that's what we've been responding to. I think he is more. I do. I think he can compare his physicality to Beckham's. I stand by that statement. They are proving. There's two players that rely on space to play long balls to play at their best. And my original point was that they should get Trent Alexander-Arnold out of right back, and they should play him in a role to what Beckham played at Real Madrid. That's where that's the position I think he would excel at. Oh shit, I fell asleep and missed the whole show. No worry about me. Beckham had amazing muscularity though, to be fair. He was a skinny, scrawny guy. I mean, the bloke's like 11 stone. Bodach's going to stress eat habaneros after stream. Nah, I'm not stressed. It's just football, innit? I've had so many footballing arguments. It's not even an argument. People just think what they think, don't they? Probably for the best, Betty. Just didn't have the physicality to stay awake. Nah. You literally said Trent is the best right back in the world. Well, he is though, isn't he? Who else is on the right who's clocking up the assists that he does? Who else is there? Why is he getting played? Why is he actually so close to joining like Madrid or something like that as a right back? I mean, the list is so short. Let's have a look. 4-4-2. 4-4-2 has Trent Alexander number 1. Frimpong number 2. Hakimi is number 3. Timber's number 4. I'm sorry, but Trent Alexander is the best right back in the world. Dude, mate, I know you don't like Google because it proves you're wrong, Jiggy. I get it. It must be annoying. But I'm literally Googling it. 442, transfermarket.com, 90minutes.com. Even FIFA rank him. Even FIFA rank him as the best right back. FIFA football game, ESPN. Give Me Sport, Trent Alexander #1. The Telegraph. All the prominent footballing blogs, they're all listing Trent Alexander as the #1 right back in the world. He is the best right back in the world. So you can spam me with big capital letters and go, ha ha ha. It doesn't make it any less true. Oh, damn, Jiggy, you need to clip that. He also said Salah was one of the best strikers in the world. Well, he is one of the best strikers. Mohamed Salah is the best forward in the world right now. That's also undeniable. If I had the physicality, I could clip the shit out of this stream. Go ahead. I stand by everything I said. Clearly it's Messi. It was Messi. He's doing his retirement tour in the MLS now. Massive gish gallop in here. When has Trent scored from the halfway line? Actually, no. He has scored some worldies. Bodach, which is it? Is Trent the best right back in the league? Or is he shit and should move? Both. That's how good a player he is. He's the best right back in the world. And if he transitioned to midfield, he would be phenomenal. Not right midfield. The role he played, the role Beckham played. A deep laying midfield. Next to McAllister. McAllister pressing and him being the playmaker. I think that would be the most potent setup Liverpool could put out. He didn't do what other players did. I thought his running stats were comparable to today's players. What are you on about? No, Beckham's running stats were off the scale, mate. They were really good. He ran a lot. Yeah, keep changing the goalposts in a Vinny-like gish galloping way. How have I changed the goalpost? I need Google. You don't understand. She proves all my points. We're meant for each other, and none of you will take her away from me. Bodach on his love for Google during an outburst at his family. Why would I not Google things if it's right in front of me? If this convo continues in my streams between Jigs and Bodach, I'm going to KMS. What do you mean? What's KMS mean? You just called him shit at right back. All right, yeah, well, I minced up my words. I don't think I don't understand. I'll be honest. It pisses me off some of the times. Like when he was up against Goku. Yeah, Goku fucking absolutely left him sat on his ass. So, yeah. I'm not quite sure why all these fucking different blogs and whatnot all list him as the best right back in the world. I think he'd make a much better midfielder considering his attributes and what he actually does. But basically, he's the best right back in the world, not because of his defending, but because of what he produces from that position with his assists and output. For what he lacks in defensive capacity, he more than makes up for going forward and picking up assists. When you add up all the pros and cons, he is the best right back in the world. What I don't understand is that if you put Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield and you cancel out those defensive responsibilities, what you're left with is someone who's got a prolific passing rate, his vision, his creativity. If you take away the defensive responsibility, what you've probably got is potentially one of the best holding midfielders on the face of the earth. Simple. Gilly is absolutely loving it. I thought Gilly was going live. Anyway, I do need to go to bed because it's like 1:20. Jigsaw 32. Shut up, Gilly. This is actually insane. No, it's not. Nah, it's Chris Wood. I don't know. What's Chris Wood? So this was a 5-rounder. Shut up, Gilly. I stand by everything I've said. He's the best right back in the world and also shit at right back. Makes sense. Overall, he's the best right back. I just don't think he's the best at defending, which is annoying. But in the modern game, you don't have to be, which is weird. The most potent setup. Decent title for something. Oh, you killed myself. Thinks cunningly this is an ancient Chinese philosopher. My work here is done. Get cooked Bodach, you dullard. Ah, if that's what you think. All good though. We'll agree to disagree, I guess. That's fair, Jigs. We agree that Jigsaw got pervert feet? What are you on about? Goku is a character from Dragon Ball Z, Bodach. You've lost your coherence, my friend. Please spend 24 hours from search engine. Goku! It's the guy from City. Jesus, man, you're so in love with Trent, you're blind. Trent has played in midfield and he couldn't hang. Well, he can't just bloody move there. It takes time, doesn't it? There's going to be a transition. There's going to be a transition period, isn't there? Last thing. Whenever Trent has tried to play midfield, it hasn't worked. You only got back into football this year, remember? Even Klopp said it didn't work. Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to deny it. I only got back into football this year. But you're not just going to put him in midfield and it's just going to click. Yeah, it's not just going to click, is it? He needs time to transition. It's like Beckham didn't just click when he moved into the centre role. He needed time to transition. His start at Real Madrid was rocky because of that transition. And then he came good. What was Beckham's deadlift, Matt? I don't know. Like the stream on the way out to chat. Cheers, Jiggy. It's all fun and games. The thing is about arguing football is it's football, right? The difference with Vinny is it's a lot more consequential. Trying to make it out like Islam is like the religion of peace and whatnot. That's a little bit different than where you think players would be good at. He spent 2 seasons inverting to a midfield role. Yeah, he had time. Wait, is anyone going live? Because I need to go to bed. Who's going live? Gilly, you going live? Go live. Is anyone going live? Gilly, you go live, Gilly. Gilly is in 1 minute. Okay. Anyway, remember my bet with Musical. If you can help me get to 500 followers by the 25th of April, we make Musical do his music videos in those horrific homoerotic jean shorts, the jorts. And he has to do the squat as well. Yeah, it's not every topic. Plus, the thing is, I mean, I'm friends with an Arsenal fan who'll swear blind that Dennis Bergkamp's the greatest player in football history. You know what I mean? We all think what we think. Next time so I'll be live on Tuesday, and then we have a quiz on Thursday. I'm live every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Respect, Jiggy. I will take the L on this one. Happy to take an L. I know when I'm beaten. But anyway, cheers, Jiggy. It's a fun debate. It's a fun chat. Hopefully it was an enjoyable stream. Hopefully it's an enjoyable stream. I might have got a little bit wrapped up in Googling and gish galloping. I'll admit it. I am tired. It's been a long weekend. And that's the thing when you just randomly get pulled into a little bit of a debate. It's hard. It's hard, especially when it goes over an hour. You do sort of say contradictory things and here and there and whatnot. So yeah, anyway. It's all right, Jiggy. You take the W. I'll take the L. Good game, sir. Good game. Well played. You made many, many fair points. So next time I'm live is on Tuesday, Usalese. I'm still shook. Musical joined. Useless. Anyway, Anyway, cool. Remind me, Try and help me get to 500. Let's humiliate musical. Join me on Tuesday. Peace out, everyone. Bodach can't help himself with a little disagreement. I will admit that sometimes I get into a little debate and my mindset shifts. Sometimes I just think, let's see if I can Google a few things, see if anything backs it up. Probably do rely a little bit too much on Google sometimes, but then again, why not double check? I feel like we need a Beckham quiz after all this. Yeah, we probably do. Anyway, see you Tuesday, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Oh, raid Gilly. You'll love that.